All right, here we go. We have one of the hottest new comedians, Milz. Welcome to Vlad TV.
What's good, man? I'm finally here, man. And I almost didn't show up, man.
You almost didn't show up? What happened?
One of your ops, that's my guy, but I had to call and get his permission first.
Oh, yeah? Who's my op?
Godfrey.
Is he an op? Is this how he's labeling himself now?
No, I spoke with him.
Then.
He had nothing but good things to say.
Yeah?
Yeah, in regards to me coming on the show. I was like, yeah, I said, hey, Vlad hit me up. What's funny is I just dropped my podcast episode yesterday with him on it, and we talked about you, and then now I'm here.
Okay, what'd y'all say?
We just went back to what up, y'all little riff, and this was actually before Lord Jamal came back on the show. So, we touched on that a little bit, and then, but yeah, it was nothing but good things about the show.
Cool.
I need y'all to reconcile. I need him back on his chair, man.
Well, it's your first time here, so I want to get into your backstory.
Right.
So, born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yes, sir. Brooklyn, New
Okay,
York.
and you actually grew up in foster care.
Yeah, I grew up, I was in foster care for some years, and then actually raised by my aunt. So my mother's sister actually raised me and my siblings.
Okay, so ending up in foster care, what happened to your parents?
So my mother was on drugs, father was on drugs, and then we got taken away real young, and then my aunt got us out of foster care, and then my aunt raised us and adopted us. But my mother's always been in my life, though.
Okay, so how many years were you in foster care?
About 2 with strangers, but in the system for years, even living with my aunt, and then was adopted around maybe about 13, 14 years old. I got adopted by my aunt.
Okay, and I've interviewed kids from foster care. I mean, they're adults now, but they were kids in foster care. I've heard horrific stories, and I've heard, hey, it's actually pretty cool.
Right.
What was your story?
I don't remember, bro.
Oh.
And the craziest shit, it had to be something traumatic that happened, because I could tell you everything that happened before foster care, and then from when I was with my aunt. But them couple of years I was there, I don't remember it at all. I completely blacked it out.
Okay.
It's a blur.
I guess we'll never know.
It could have been something wild. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But I choose not to deal with it. I don't want to know.
So did you reconcile with your parents at some point? Like, is your mom and your dad in your life at all? Or?
Yeah, my mother has always been in my life, because my mother's sister actually raised us. So my mother's always been in my life. Always. I've always been real close with my mom, and she's never, abandoned us. Just, it's the 80s, man. Drugs was crazy, and that's what it was back then.
Okay, what about your dad?
My dad, off and on, in and out, but, he was always there, but he never got his life together. My mother actually got her life together. My father never did. My father passed in 2017, so he died an alcoholic. But that's my guy, man. It is what it is.
Okay, so you go through foster care, your aunt adopts you, and you kind of bounced around a little bit. You were in South Carolina for the summers, then you moved to Florida, right?
Yep. But I moved to Florida grown. I was already grown. I moved on my own.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And you went to college.
Yep.
Majored in history.
Yep.
I feel like that's one of those careers where you don't exactly know what you want to do, but it sounds pretty cool, so you do it?
No, I actually always wanted to do history. First of all, history is not something you got to learn. It's just something you got to like. And if you like it, you can you can become professional at it. Right.
Well, what I'm saying is that with a history degree, I mean, you could become a teacher, I guess.
Historian.
There's not a lot of historians, in terms of in the want ads right now, is what I'm saying.
Right. I guess back then I wanted to do the teaching thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I never planned on being a comedian. That came later, way later in life.
Okay, you kind of started doing comedy when you were like 32. So between like 22 and 32, that whole decade, what were you doing?
Everything, man. Blue collar jobs, scamming, living off women, call center work, just whatever I could do, man. Just working a regular dude, man. It wasn't nothing, but the scamming thing was fun. That was cool. It's past the statute of limitations too, so I can talk about it now.
Okay. Okay, what kind of scams were you doing?
Clothing, clothing. This is the early inception of it. You know, this is not what they're doing now. This is the early stages before there was any type of real repercussions. It was light stuff. It wasn't nothing too serious. I always kept a job, though. That's the one thing I did. I always kept a job. Always.
Okay, so around 32, that's when you started messing around with comedy?
Yeah, professionally, yeah. I mean, just get into it. You know, my boys always say, like, yo, bro, you wild funny. You need to go get on stage. So the first thing I did was got on stage in Orlando, Florida, at an open mic. Shout out to my boy Kim Miller. I got on stage with that. And the audience response, I'm like, man, this is something I really probably could do for the rest of my life. It was just that dope. And yeah, that's how my comedy career started.
Okay, and your original name was King Dirtbag.
King Dirtbag, bro.
Why that name?
All right, so my name was always Will Milz. So what happened was I started a clothing line called Dirtbag Cartel. And I used to wear the shirts on stage while I'm performing, and on the back of the shirt, it says Dirtbag. So the audience and the fans used to call me Dirtbag, but that was never my name. So I guess kind of changed it. I changed it to King Dirtbag on Instagram. And that's how the moniker was born. But then I got canceled, and then I came back as Will Milz again.
Okay, so your IG account got shut down?
Yeah, they shut me down, bro.
For what?
Well, this is the PC era. This that PC era. So I was talking about fat chicks. This is back when everybody got offended. I think I did a video about Lizzo, and Shaq. I blame it on Shaq, though. It was Shaq's fault. Because me and Shaq is real cool, and he told me about, I think it was Lizzo when she had her ass out at the Lakers game. And after that, they got me out of here. Yeah, they got me out of here after that, man.
You know, you're working the whole comedy thing. You know, you're doing some stand-up,
Right.
and you're trying to kind of get things going on the internet.
Right.
And the first skit that went viral was something you did with your son.
Right.
Where you're saying that you used to live in my balls?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how does that go?
So I was just talking about, like I sent a message out to like deadbeat dads about the importance of, you know, being in your kids' lives and taking care of your kids. And at the end of it, I said, Cairo, you used to live in my balls. And then the video went crazy viral. And a lot of people don't even know that was me. That was my voice in the background of that video. So, yeah, that video went off. That video did millions. I ain't get a dime off of it, but that was like my real first taste of viral fame right there.
Okay, so you're still trying to get the whole career going.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're doing comedy, as you're doing stand-up, you talked about how there's a big difference between black audiences and white audiences.
Right.
Explain.
All right, so if you're doing stand-up, black audiences, because we already funny, bro. We already funny. You in the hood, you grow up roasting each other. Like, comedy is just a part of black culture, period, especially in the hood. So when you perform in front of a black audience, you got to prove something to them. Because we already think we're the funniest people in the world anyway, which I think we are. We are the funniest people in the world. So it's a harder audience. White people, I don't even know. Like, sometimes I feel like they laughing at you, but white audiences are way easier, bro. It's easy.
Okay.
The real test is in front of a black hood crowd. That's when you really know you're funny. Because there's a lot of goofy comedians out here that can't do black rooms. They can do white rooms. They can't do black rooms.
Okay, and you talked about how, most comedians think that the worst thing in the world is to get booed.
Yeah.
But it's actually not to get booed.
Nah, because
it's to be ignored.
Ignored. Listen, getting booed for me is cool because I know I say things that get under people's skin, right? So it don't mean I'm not funny. It just can mean that they didn't like what I said. It offended them and they'll boo it. But getting ignored, bro, sidebar conversations as you're up there performing, hurts. That hurts your feelings. It hurts. So that's when you know you whack. If you up there trying to do jokes and they're turning their backs on you and they're having sidebar conversations, that hurts. That's when you know you need to get back in the drawing board, bro.
Well, wasn't there a situation where I think you were in Miami and they were ignoring you and you actually wanted to fight the audience?
This is one of my first shows and I thought I was good enough to go on the road because at this point, I'm only performing for like people who kind of know me, you know, so they already know I'm funny and performing for local audiences. So then my boy Jersey took me on the road, and we went to a spot in Miami, Florida, and this was like right before we was the opening acts for, what's his name, man? I'm in love with the Coco. What was his name? OT Genesis.
OT Genesis, right.
OT Genesis. We were the opening acts before this show. So when we got there, it was already about 500 or 600 people there. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna go great. And they had karaoke people, but my guy headlined, I opened for him. So the host kind of threw me under the bus because the host introduced me along with the karaoke acts like I was coming to do amateur comedy. So he didn't sell me to the audience. So I get on stage and they hear this thick New York accent, they already are drawn back like, okay, this cocky ass New York dude coming up here. I started talking about church, I think, and then I talked about something else and they didn't like it and they just blew me off. And I lost it. I just started going at the audience and my boy, they came up to stop the show and my boy signaled like, yo, man, get out of there. This is Miami. This is not gonna end well. Everybody in there with 2-3 dreads, gold teeth. It was about to end bad for me, man, but I got out of there. And that was the day I was gonna quit doing comedy.
Huh.
Yeah, but I kept going after that, man. I took some time off though.
Huh.
I was real mad at myself.
Well, I mean, a bad situation will do that to you, but it really comes down to how motivated, how serious you are about your craft.
Facts.
Okay, so you're still trying to figure things out. You had the viral skit, with the thing with your son.
Right.
But I feel like you got on a lot of people's radar when you started doing the top 5 lists.
Right. That's what really, because the Will Milz account, King Dirtbag got canceled. I was going viral on that account a lot. But then when I started doing the top 5s, that's when it really, really picked up. Because it's so consistent and it's so random, but it's also well thought out. You know what I'm saying? It's things that people didn't even consider to think about. It's like random stuff like top 5 hood movie villains, top 5 true heroes. And then I always throw them for a loop and give them things that they didn't really think about. So yeah, that really did it right there, the top 5 stuff.
Now, the term nasty work. Now, you didn't come up with that term, but
no, but I damn sure popularized it.
You popularized it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it all the time, man. People used it against me before.
Yeah.
So you're the king of nasty work?
I tell people I never claimed fame I never claimed it. It's just something that I use in my lingo, and that's regular New York lingo. And I say it all the time. And I guess it's the way I articulate it or the way I use it. But then one comedian dude started using it wrong, and you don't really hear me say it that much no more. Yeah, he pissed me off. He uses it in his skits online, and he puts it in the wrong places. And he's kind of corny to me, so I'm like, I don't want to say it no more. So I started saying, my other term, which is the one that's really going crazy right now. Pack you out. Yeah, that's I didn't make that up either. But it's the way it's being used. It's just like how I say, like Will Smith with the getting jiggy with it. He didn't make up the word, but when he used it, it became something else. So that's how I view the catchphrases.
Well, didn't you call Will Smith corny because he used the word jiggy after the Locks kind of had a song with it?
Yeah, I think Will Smith is the corniest rapper that ever lived.
The corniest rapper that ever lived.
I think he's the corniest rapper that ever lived. And that don't mean I have something against Will Smith. Or I think he's a great actor. I think he's a great guy. I think he's dope. I think he got a couple of classic songs. But as far as, because think about it, man, Will Smith came up in an era where, with Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, he came up in that same era. And he was the corny guy. You know what I mean? And I think people take that word corny too far. When I say corny, I mean like you influence other corny people. That's what corny is. Other corny people gravitate towards you. If you walk up in the club and some white dude comes to you and say, hey man, let's get jiggy with it. That's corny, and he got that from Will Smith. And even now to this day, he's still doing it. He's proving it now with his little antics he's doing in the street. I just saw him recently rapping in London. And nobody asked for this, bro. It's like, Will Smith, what are you doing? I think he's bored. He's worth $400 million? At this point, he can do whatever he wants. But that doesn't mean he's not corny.
Yeah, I just had Ary Spears on my show, and he was going in on that freestyle. That I'm an action
my guy
star.
too. Ary Spears is my dude too.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. And I actually didn't even hear about that freestyle. And we pulled it up as we're doing the interview. And
beyond
you're
cringe.
right, no one asked for this freestyle.
It was the cringiest thing I've seen in my life. And I was embarrassed for him. But the fact that he wasn't embarrassed lets me know that he fully embraced his corny. He just owns it. He owns the corniness. I guess that's what having a lot of money do for you. And then he made another, he actually, I guess he retracted his apology to Chris Rock because now he's making songs about it.
Right.
That's corny.
Yeah, right. He said, if you diss me on stage, you're going to see me on the stage. He's talking about Chris Rock.
Yeah, of course. Like, you don't get no cool points for smacking Chris Rock. Chris Rock is a $1.15, man. Soaking wet.
Soaking wet. Soaking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know something? No one asked for that new Will Smith album either.
Nobody asked for it, and nobody's listening to it.
I could name you one. I don't even know what the title is.
I'm telling you,
songs.
Will Smith put the corn in corny. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just, I feel I stand on it. Had a bunch of Philly dudes get mad at me about it. And, you know, it's like, why? I'm not talking about Philly. I love Philly. I'm cool with Philly dudes. People think I'm from Philly, I guess because I got a big beard. But that has nothing to do with Philly. And I highly doubt if Will Smith even associates himself with Philly anymore. He's an LA guy. So Philly, relax, bro. It's cool, you know?
Yeah, I think when that whole situation where Jada was sleeping with August Alsina and they all went on vacation together.
The way,
listen,
Will Smith handled that.
Look, I mean, lots of married dudes, their wives have side dudes. Like,
Right.
That's just reality, right? But you don't go on vacation with them.
And look at who the side dude was. I mean, she's twice his age. It's the way, and then when they went on the Red Table Talk, listen, I get honor thy wife. I get that. I get even staying quiet in the midst of things happening in your relationship because you don't want nobody in your business. It's cool to take the fifth and not say anything. But to allow this thing to be put on Front Street and you sit there through that and have a discussion about it for views is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, and now August Alsina has a whole boyfriend.
I heard, bro.
Yeah, with
I
makeup
heard.
and the whole nine.
Insane. Insanity. Now she's dealing with, so the whole, I mean, and I honestly don't believe, like, when it comes to those matters, it's not something you figure out older. This is something that's been going on with August, respectfully. He definitely was already doing that. He didn't decide one day. He's a grown man. Grown men don't get turned out. Grown men, you've been Rainbow Coalition from the beginning, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that has a lot to do with his temperament. I know a lot of guys who are angry people, and it's because they're gay. I've always thought that about Kanye West. I've said that for years. The way he's always irrational, the way he lashes out, that is the actions of a man that's in the closet. Because I know a lot of dudes, you know, who my gaydar detector went off about them. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but they're uncomfortable to come out the closet. They're fighting demons with themselves. So it comes out in a form of frustration. And they be mad. Kanye, and then he just came out with the thing with his cousin.
Right.
And I'm like, here, it's coming out slow. It's coming. That train's never late, bro. Kanye West is gonna come out the closet.
Well, I mean, he already came out the closet.
Right.
He made a song about giving his male cousin head. I mean, how much more out the closet do you want him to come out?
Yeah. Yeah. But he's been, because I saw an old video of him and he was in the studio talking about, I could be wrong, I think Beans or somebody was calling him gay.
Yeah, Beanie Siegel called him gay, and he was on like Smack DVD talking about, yo, man, I ain't gay.
When you do
I
that,
ain't gay.
when you go overboard to
But you were gay.
Yeah. When you go overboard to defend your heterosexuality, yeah. Yeah, bro. Definitely. Because you're not telling us that. You're telling yourself that.
Right.
Now, we didn't need to know that story.
Right. Right. Now, I've always felt like dudes that are real homophobic, I've always figured that they're gay themselves. Because if you're straight, you don't get bothered by gay people. I have gay friends. Like, my friend Jason Lee is gay. I've had dinner with him, just us. Like, what I'm saying? We talk, we're friends. I went to his award show. I don't care if he's gay. I'm straight.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter to me.
My thing with my stance on that has always been a little different when it comes to homophobia, right? And this is something with the gay community that's always bothered me. And I'm gonna put overly gangster dudes into the mix as well, right? So it's not the fact that they're gay that bothers people. It's the antics, right? Because the only thing that makes you gay is the fact that you sleep with members of the same sex. But you being loud and rambunctious and walking around like Saucy Santana, that's not the gay part. The gay part is the sex acts that you engage in, right? So, but what happened is they wear that identity along with their homosexuality and say, and when we have a problem with that, they say that we're being homophobic. So on the same token, I have a problem with dudes who are extra gangster. It's the same level of annoyance. It's like, bro, you don't gotta do all of that, right? Because honestly, I don't care if you're gay. I have gay friends. One of my daughters is homosexual. I have a gay daughter. You know what I'm saying? So that's not my problem. My problem is you don't gotta wear it on your sleeve. Like, just be gay and go home with your boyfriend. You don't gotta be loud about it. That's the part that's annoying.
I know Don Lemon. I've interviewed him. We run into each other. We keep in contact. You wouldn't know that he's gay unless he tells you that he's gay.
Right, because the gay
part... But he's got a whole husband at home.
Right, the gay part is actually private. Right? You don't have sex in the street.
Right.
So that's the gay part. The extra stuff has nothing to do with being homosexual. Even the way they do their voice. You're doing that on purpose to let us know, hey, I'm gay. But I think that's the part that annoys most people. And when they speak out on that, they call them homophobic.
Well, but do you think it's maybe kind of like peacocking, like they're doing that to attract other gay men? Like let them know, hey, listen, I'm on this side. In case you are too. Maybe even if you're on the down low, like, yo, this is what I'm about.
And it's 100% fine for them to do that. But when somebody has a problem with it, to label them as homophobic, and I think a lot of people have a hard time articulating what their actual problem is. Because I think most heterosexual men don't have a problem with anybody being gay, unless you're Jamaican. Right? Yeah. I think most heterosexual men don't care. I think it's the antics that bother them. And now we have this, it's like, hey, it's a lifestyle. This is my identity. Listen, the only thing that makes you homosexual is the fact that you sleep with members of the same sex. The fact that you're loud and you gotta let the world know that you're gay means you're annoying. You see what I'm saying? That's not the gay part. So I'm not homophobic, but I am annoyed by all of the extra stuff. That's my stuff.
You're not homophobic, you're annoyophobic.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Annoyophobic.
Right, and when you bring that
I'm
up,
scared of annoying people.
Yeah, they say, oh, you don't like me because I'm gay. I'm like, no, I actually don't care. I don't care. You don't gotta let me know. You don't gotta tell the world about doing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Walking around in here and makeup. You don't gotta do all that, bro. You're not even transgender. You know what I mean? Like transgender people actually suffer from what is it called? What's it called? Gender dysphoria. That's a thing, right? But if you remember back in the 80s and 90s, there were men who just were called what? Cross-dressers. They were just weirdos.
Culture Club, Boy George.
Right, and those men have inserted themselves into people who actually suffer from gender dysphoria. People now call them trans. Like, don't call me sir. Don't call me ma'am, I'm a sir. No, bro, you're a cross-dresser. You're a cross-dresser. Those people didn't go anywhere. They just inserted themselves into a cause that has nothing to do with them.
Well, some of your lists are kind of interesting. One of which is the top 10 worst rappers of all time.
Oh, he went back.
Yeah. Do you remember this list, or shall I refresh your memory now?
I remember who the worst was, But yeah, refresh me, because I think I did that list, like 2019 maybe?
It was a while ago.
All right, let's see.
I'll break it down.
Okay.
And you know what's funny is that, the first person on this list, when I interviewed him, I actually brought it up to him in the interview. No, not from your list, but just in general, because people have been saying this.
Oh,
the
number
first
one.
person on your list, is Silk the Shocker.
100%. I stand on that.
Silk the Shocker. And I remember when I did an interview with him, I said, hey, what do you feel when people say that you're like the worst rapper of all time and stuff like that? And he kind of just sort of laughed it off or whatever else. I'll be honest, I've been listening to your stuff forever. I've always liked Silk the Shocker. But when I started looking online, it seemed like a bunch of different sites would do like these worst rapper of all time lists. And for some reason, they'd put you on these lists. Like, honestly, and I guess you were accused of being offbeat and stuff like that, which I don't really see, because I looked at it as more of a style thing. Why do you think that so many people take shots at you like that?
I don't know. Like you said, I think I was offbeat. But what's funny is, I think what's funny is nowadays they want me to be offbeat again. They like, oh, Silk, you be old Silk, you know what I'm saying? But I think I had my own style, which I don't think is right or wrong. So, and if you go back and listen, I had a chance to listen to my own music. I'm like, wow, that was pretty good. But at the time, I didn't really care about it. I was just doing my thing, doing my best. But when I go back listen, I'm like, those are pretty good songs. Now, I had my own lane once again, so I could never call another rapper horrible, because we all have a different own style. So if we all have the same style, then creativity wouldn't be good. So when I listen to my old stuff, I'm like, I had my own lane. The worst rapper stuff, I don't know what makes that. I do see that, but I'm confused on who gave them a chart that says, look, I sold a lot of records. I sold more records than a majority of, almost a lot of rappers. So I don't know what can say, I'm worse or somebody else worse. I don't know, whatever, but it's opinion though. Back to that.
Silk the Shocker has not made anyone's top 10 list that I've ever met in my life.
Silk the Shocker is pretty bad, bro. And then I remember he said something that even reconfirmed my thoughts on him, because he said that he was doing it on purpose. I think he said it on your show. Like he was doing it on purpose, the whole offbeat thing. Now listen, shout out to Master P for putting his family in position, because he actually did what I would have never done. If my brother was trash like that, he wouldn't have ended up on any. I would have gave him something else to do. He would have been, or in accounting. He would have had a role in my company, but I definitely wouldn't have made him an artist. So Master P is a little more. He's nicer than I am. There's no way Silk would have been a rapper on my label.
But to be fair, he was on a few big songs.
For sure, but look who your brother is.
Yeah.
Without Master P, there is no Silk.
Okay, and then we have a tie. Lil B and Chief Keef.
Yeah. The reason, Lil B, definitely. Lil B made it cool to be whack. And he doesn't get his credit. He's actually a pioneer. Lil B is super. He was like the first rapper to really do the dress thing in a big era. He was the first one to do it. He was the first one, but he was just a YouTube guy. Chief Keef has always been terrible lyrically, but the reason why I had to put him on the list, because of his he really influenced the world. The world, like Chief Keef stamped no lyricism, talking about whatever, and just straight killing, and everybody can. It's easy to do what Chief Keef does. So he's not just that bad because of his lyrics. His influence also.
I don't think it's easy to do what Chief Keef has done.
The lyrical content.
Chief Keef has some bangers.
No, the lyrical content.
Like Love Sosa, I love that song.
No, listen, I love Chief Keef.
Great song.
So when I'm saying rap, I mean his lyrical content. His lyrical content is very easy
great
to do.
Song.
Yeah.
These are great songs. You throw them up at a party, people will go crazy.
For sure. So will I. However, the lyrical content is what I mean, how easy it is to do. That's the easy part. I remember he had a song called First Day Out. Bro, I sing this song in the shower. It doesn't mean I like it. It's just that bad. It's fun to sing it because it's like, started off the day with a blunt of herb, walking up the phone to see what I'm worth. I'm like, bro, he's saying absolutely nothing, bro. It's a fun song, and I like Chief Keef. I do like him. But lyrically, he's trash, bro. Trash. But I do like him, though. Two things can be true. You can be a good artist and a bad rapper. And I think he's that.
Well, I'm totally disagreeing with you on this one. Lil Flip.
Oh, Lil Flip's terrible, bro.
I think Flip is dope. I've known Flip forever. One of the coolest dudes I've ever met in the industry.
You know what?
He has great songs, and if you look at some of his later stuff, he actually does get more lyrical and so forth. Like he actually has, lyricism he's developed over time.
Now I know Lil Flip started out as a freestyle rapper.
Right.
I know that, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm the guy who gets extremely annoyed by certain things, and it stays with me, and it will take over my brain. If I did this list over, I'm pretty sure it'd be different. Because like I said, this was 2019 I did that list, rambling on a podcast. It's a line he said, when he said, I'll treat you like milk, I'll do nothing but spoil you. Bro, that is one of the worst bars I've ever heard in my life. And I hate that bar so much that I made him one of the worst rappers of all time. And I'm gonna keep it real. That is what put him on the list. That bar.
That bar?
Yes.
I've heard worse bars than that.
That bar just it was the cadence, it was his mannerisms. Like we were supposed to go, whoa, no, bro. It was one of those.
I mean, look, I think most people, and I would probably include you in this list, unless you tell me otherwise, thinks that Cameron is a really dope rapper, right?
Yeah,
dope
Cameron's my guy.
dope rapper. But then he had that computer's Putin sound, that one line that people still kind of make fun of. So it's like every rapper has some whack lines here and there.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're whack rappers. I think Cameron, like, in terms of lyricism, I would put him probably top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't say that.
Yeah, no, Cameron, when he gets in his bag, like in his prime, like Cameron was a beast. You couldn't really get on a track with Cameron and hold your own. Like that was a tough feat.
Speaking of Cam, we just signed a business deal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm about to go on. That's my home. Yeah, we just actually signed a deal. So
okay, yeah.
we
I was just on the show a couple months ago.
Yeah, we just signed a deal together for the podcast. Yesterday, actually. We just signed.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, so Cam's my business partner, so I ain't gonna say nothing about it. But Cam said some corny shit before. But I think Cam overall, I think what made Cam, even with the computers Putin, that was so original. That was his style. Just the doubling up on, that was just his thing. Everybody got their thing.
Yeah, right. I don't think anyone was like, ooh, yo, bars, computers Putin. It's like, yo, I think he would probably look at that and go like, yeah, not my finest hour.
Yeah. But
he's got this catalog and he's got this body of work that's amazing.
Right.
Right. But yeah, that one bar, people gave him a hard time over.
Yeah, Lil Flip, that bar is what did it for me. Who else I got on?
Okay. No argument on this next one. Magoo.
Rest in peace. This is before he died.
Yeah.
This is before he died. Yeah, Magoo, definitely horrible. But rest in peace to him. He was horrible, though.
This next one, this is someone I know, or I knew. We haven't talked in a long time. I did a couple interviews with him. We hung out a little bit. Probably wouldn't argue this one either. Praz.
Oh, Praz went from the Fugees? Oh, my God. Terrible, bro. And his voice. His voice, bro. His voice, bro. He sound like I don't like a tugboat operator, bro. Like nobody's supposed to talk like that. Like he didn't. It was him. He got a voice like it was another dude that was It was a dude that was with Busta Rhymes Flip Mode Camp back in the days. His name was Lord Have Mercy.
Yeah, I remember him.
Did he just pass away recently?
Did he? Wait.
Somebody just passed away.
Have mercy.
And I think they were killed by the police. Was it somebody? Was it him?
No. Lord Have Mercy is still alive. I met him before. Cool dude.
Okay, good. His voice.
Yeah.
But he was nice. Lord Have Mercy is nice. But his voice, hated it. Hated his voice. He had that voice like a Marvel villain summoning his minions. Now who the fuck you be? Like, bro, why do you? And Praz was also Haitian, so he had a Haitian accent. Nothing wrong with the Haitian accent, but rapping English in a Haitian accent is insane, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Praz is that he was the business guy. I think he went to like Columbia or Harvard or something, and he helped set up the business deals and so forth. But clearly, the talent in the group was Lauren and Wyclef.
Right, but listen, Wyclef is a bad rapper too. He just was a great artist, but he's a terrible rapper. But as far as artistry, Wyclef is one of the best.
I mean, well, I'll take Wyclef over Praz for rapping.
100%. Yeah. 100% without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, and I feel like Wyclef was more of a singer than a rapper.
Yes.
You
Bad
see what I'm
singer
saying?
too. He was a bad singer. He couldn't sing.
Well,
he just makes
I think he had a style.
But you see what I'm saying?
That, he's not Lauryn Hill in terms of singing. He's not Whitney Houston. But I think what he did is dope.
Right,
and also performance-wise,
right?
Like there's a serious argument for Wyclef being the greatest hip hop performer of all time.
He's up there. He's up there.
I mean, people say Busta Rhymes also, but Wyclef is in that conversation.
But see, look, I can be a fan of one thing, but not the other. I think Wyclef, his pen, his music writing abilities, his eye for talent, he makes great. Because think about it, like for instance, there's a lot of rappers who are great artists but terrible rappers. I'll give you one, and people are gonna hate this, bro. People regard her as one of the greatest female rappers of all time, but I've never heard a bar from her. Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is one of the most incredible artists of all time. But when people say, oh, Missy Elliott is one of the best rappers, I'm like, what is she? She didn't rap really. She was just a great artist. She's great at making music. But that doesn't mean you're good at making lyrics. Your lyrics ain't that good. If you put a Missy song on a cappella and didn't do the voice, you'd be like, yo, what is this, bro?
But another one of these more singers than rappers kind of, artists, I feel. She, like her biggest songs was more singing, I feel.
Right, but people will say Missy is one of the greatest female rappers, and I'm like, she's not. She's just an all-around artist, just like Wyclef is an all-around artist. He's just good at making music, period. And he's one of the best to ever do it, but lyrics is absolutely not.
Well, let's get to the next one. Me and Nick are cool these days, but Nick Cannon being on this list.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
terrible.
Not the best rapper, but he still tries every so often. He will just drop a project that not a lot of people check out.
I've tried rock climbing, and I'm terrible.
Still tries.
Yeah, he's tried, but Nick Cannon is tried, and it bothers me when people put Nick Cannon and they call him corny because of his raps. Nick Cannon, his raps is corny, but Nick Cannon is not corny at all. He's not corny. He stands up for stuff. I like that. But Nick Cannon is a real dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, you got a piece of that.
What do you mean?
Oh no, y'all actually sat down together. Now y'all wasn't beefing though.
Well, me and him sort of did have this kind of almost quiet beef for a while, but earlier this year we got on the phone together and we hashed it all out, and we cool these days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sort of I was going through a cancel period and a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, they tried to get you out of here,
taking shots at me, and Nick was sort of one of them. But me and him worked it all out.
I'm pretty sure I had some choice words for you.
Yeah, probably. But that's my man. Our families know each other. Like it's one of those things where, just like me and Lord Jamar, we didn't talk for 5 years, and we got on the phone, and now he came to do my show, and the whole world was upset over it. But we don't care. Like we actually have a real relationship.
I actually thought Godfrey would come back before him.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that, and I ran into Godfrey.
He told me.
You know about this part of the story?
He told me.
Yeah.
He told me about it.
I ran into him, and, he walked up to me and put his hand out.
Right.
First thing he did, and I shook his hand. As I'm shaking his hand, I said, yo, we need to talk. He's like, okay, yeah. Then he runs off.
Yeah.
Right?
He told me.
And then, we have a mutual friend. I got his phone number. I hit him. He don't hit me back. And then he does his show, and it was like, oh, yeah. Didn't Vlad hit you? I think he did. Maybe, I'm not sure. Did you change your number? Oh, yeah, I changed my number. And it's like, he's like, sort of like trying not to answer the question. It's like, motherfucker, you know I texted you. You just don't want to have this phone call. you know? But you were the loudest dude talking the most shit about me. But here's the thing about Godfrey, right? This is the thing about Godfrey, and you could play it up for the cameras.
Right.
You know, he could do whatever he wants. But the reality is, out of all the guests I've ever had, nobody would hit me up to do another interview more often than Godfrey. He was always, as soon as one interview's done, yo, I want to come back. Yo, whenever I do these interviews, my bookings go crazy, blah, blah. And me and him have always had a very kind, like friendly relationship. He's been in my home before and everything else like that. And then suddenly it was like, oh, cancel Vlad, fuck Vlad. Let me talk about his family, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is not the person that I knew 2 days before he was doing this.
Right.
You know, and I think that with Godfrey, I think that he said so much foul things about me publicly when he knows that that's not what our relationship was, that he doesn't, I think he's worried about having that conversation with me because he's going to have to actually, talk about some of the things that has happened.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just cowardice at this point. It's like, you want to have that certain energy on the internet, but when you run into me or when I call you, suddenly you don't want to have that conversation.
Right.
That's not a man to me.
Damn.
That's not a man to me. A man has to keep that same energy. That's how I feel. I know that's your buddy and everything else like that, but since
I got y'all thing. That's why I even called him. I said, listen, I'm doing the show regardless. But but he said no. He said, yo, go ahead, man. Go ahead. It's gonna really help you with your career and Vlad is I know how many people have sat down with you and you keep a lot of people relevant. If you ask me.
Well, listen, if you talk to all the comedians that have been on my show, every one of them will say that their bookings have increased dramatically from being on my show, especially if they're on my show consistently.
For sure.
Well, let's go down the list a little more.
Okay.
You have a tie between Master P and Gucci Mane.
Yep.
All right, so Master P I'm not a big fan of in terms of rapping. Now, he's got some jams, make him say, that's a big song.
Right.
And I represent 1990 Skrillers, Master P, and they labeled me a drug dealer. About it. That's the song.
Right.
About it. In fact, Master P not only is he a music, trendsetter, but the whole Hood movie, like Financing Yourself, put it out, the I'm About It movie, like that was the blueprint for basically Tubi.
Right.
Tubi was invented by what Master P did back in the day.
Right. I mean, I think Master P is actually, and I could be wrong, he set the blueprint for what rap became as far as business moguls. He was the first one. He was the first rapper that came from the hood, distributed his own music in the street, and became a business mogul because of it. He's the first. You got Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons was with who? Who was Russell Simmons with? It wasn't just him.
You're talking about Rick Rubin.
But as far as a black music executive, mogul, Master P was the first one. Who was
Master P the first black?
First one.
No. Eazy-E.
Well, Eazy-E was also with the white guy, Jerry Heller. No, that was his manager.
That was just
his
manager,
he had
his
Ruthless.
lawyer.
But
no,
Master P.
Ruthless Records was completely owned by Eazy-E.
No, okay. So when I say the way Master P went about doing it, like he went in the street first and did it. He went in the street.
So did Eazy-E.
Yeah.
Eazy-E was pushing.
Nobody followed
records in the street.
Okay,
before Priority Records came in and actually gave a distribution deal and everything else like that. Yeah,
but Eazy-E ain't getting nowhere near as much money as Master P got.
Well, no, because it was a different time.
Right.
Eazy-E died.
Right. So
relatively young. But listen, Eazy-E not only did his own album, I think, go multiple platinum times.
For sure.
NWA was massive.
Right.
And then Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yep.
That was him.
Right. But I think the blueprint, Eazy-E probably was the first, but I think the blueprint, the way Master P went about doing it and formed that camp, he just had no limit with the album covers. Just everything he did, everything after him, Baby Cash Money comes after that. Rockefeller comes after that.
Yeah.
Ludacris with Disturbing the Peace. Everybody just followed his motto. So Master P was the first to set it off in the hood as far as being an independent music mogul.
I mean, I would agree to disagree. I think it's Eazy-E,
But
but
I
I see where you're going with it.
Right,
I mean, Master
listen,
P
Eazy
did make
probably
it
was the
bigger, and he
first.
turned it to more of a conveyor belt.
Right.
Album after like an album,
Right.
damn near every week
Right.
was coming out through him. And listen, Master P is an icon.
For sure. But as far as a rapper is concerned, it's
Not
pretty
the
bad.
greatest rapper.
Pretty bad.
Okay, well, like I said, you put a tie between Master P and Gucci Mane, and I think Gucci Mane's dope. Like, there's a bunch of songs I love, by Gucci.
I never got
Is
it.
You Rollin', Heavy. Like, I listen to Heavy all the time. It's one of my favorite down south songs.
Right. Okay. So once again, we're back here again. I think Gucci makes great music, but Gucci is not a good rapper to me. His lyrically, his raps are subpar at best. And
Okay.
and
Cup.
when you look at the people, all right. So boom, if you are a rapper, and you say who influenced you, and then you start dropping names, and you're garbage. There's a bunch of garbage rappers that said he's influenced by him. Bunch. Because he's influential like that. And I get that. But as far as him, I can't give it his lyrical content. But I think he makes
Okay, so who would you think is a better rapper, him or Jeezy?
better rapper.
Rapper.
Jeezy's another one.
You think Jeezy's garbage? Really?
No, Jeezy's another one that makes really good music, but his lyrical content is not really there. But so, all right, so I'll say this. I think Gucci Mane is a better lyrically than Jeezy, but I like Jeezy's music better than Gucci Mane. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think lyrically Gucci is way better than Jeezy. Jeezy don't really have much words. He don't talk that much. He drags everything out. He don't really say a lot of words, and there's no entendres, there's nothing. It's just gonna be a song straight to the point and a hook. Gucci's gonna throw a couple of bars out there. Gucci's gonna have a lot of lyrical content, and Gucci got way more music than Jeezy. Way more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I like Jeezy better than Gucci, though. I like his music better, but Gucci's a better rapper.
All right, next person on the list, Birdman.
Oh, Birdman, horrible. He's ruined several songs, bro. Birdman's horrible. One of the worst rappers of all time. I stand on that firmly. Firmly, bro. Birdman garbage. Garbage.
But you know something though, and me and Birdman are cool. We keep in contact. The thing about Birdman that to me has always like he's earned his respect with me just for this. When everyone left Cash Money, Juvenile was gone, BG was gone, Turk left, and Lil Wayne wasn't, he was still a kid, he wasn't really doing nothing.
Right.
Birdman pretty much kept that label afloat as a rapper.
I mean, wasn't a good one, but so a big time is him and Manny Fresh?
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, just in general, I mean, he was putting out songs like What Happened to That Boy and stuff like that. Like
all that shit was garbage, bro. Vlad, pack you up. No, that was bad music, bro. I hated all of it.
Clearly, he wasn't even supposed to be the rapper. But here's the thing, though, like.
He had no choice but to put the label on his back. It's his label.
Right. I mean, for example,
of dissolve it and sell it.
Look, like if you really know the NWA story, you know that Eazy-E never wanted to rap.
I know that.
But
Boys in the Hood was being
recorded with this group from New York who didn't want to do it. Like Dre was like, "Yo, Easy, jump in the booth and do the lyrics." Ice Cube already wrote it all.
Right.
And he's like, "I don't want to rap. Like I can't rap." He was totally off beat. Like I heard that with Eazy-E, you had to record things like damn near word by word by word because he was so off beat that he could not do a whole verse or even half a verse and stay on beat.
Eazy was fire though, man. Eazy was fire.
I love Eazy though.
I like
and that's
his
the
delivery.
thing, like his voice.
His delivery was
like
crazy.
the final product when Ice Cube was writing for him and Ren was writing for him, like I would look forward to the easy part of an NWA song.
His voice, bro, that LA accent. I love it.
Yeah, the high pitched voice and everything, which wasn't really being done in hip hop at that point. No, man, like sometimes when all the pieces fit together, you ain't got to be the hottest freestyler or whatever else. It just all fits.
I would give, like when you said that Birdman put the label on his back, he did. But I got to give Manny the credit for putting out those beats.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Manny's really the one who kept that label up.
No, I feel you.
Because Manny was putting the beats together. It's hard to rap bad when the beat is that dope.
No, you can rap bad.
Yeah.
You could rap bad.
But if the beat is good, listen, half the label, we all know, man, over 80% of the industry can't rap a lick. It's the beats and the hooks that's carrying everybody nowadays. Nobody cares about lyricism no more, bro.
Well, the next person I want to argue with, Diddy.
Oh, Diddy's terrible.
Yeah.
Diddy's terrible. I mean, you know. You want to argue about Diddy?
No.
Oh, you said you wouldn't argue.
No argument
Diddy was
whatsoever.
terrible.
None.
We can say whatever we want about Diddy now at this point. But yeah, I was on the mark. Diddy's one of the worst rappers of all time. When he said, and he was giving us clues in his songs too. When he said, you were more like my girl, we was like brothers. That bar flew over a lot of people's head. When he said that back then, I was like, what? Bro, I've never I was cool with a lot of my girlfriends, but I've never said my girl, you remind me of my brother. That's a crazy bar when you really think about it. We can play fight like, I'm saying you cool with me like me and my sister cool, but you cool like a dude? Nah, pack that up, son. That was crazy. Back then, that bar was crazy.
He even had that one line, don't worry about if he said, don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks.
Yeah.
So he was telling you, like, I'm just here to,
I mean, nobody's ever said Diddy was nice.
No.
I mean, Diddy always surrounded himself with great artists and great rappers, which kind of let him get away with a lot of stuff. But Diddy's garbage. He's top 10 of all time. Might be top 10 people, worst people of all time at this point.
I mean, were you surprised at the verdict?
No. I've always said the case was bullshit. I think he was overcharged on the things he didn't do and undercharged on the things he did do. I've always said, I've been beefing online for the past week. I said, yo, Freako is not Rico.
Yeah.
Just because you're a freak don't mean you. I never thought, because think about it, man. Like, you're a fluid chicken. I've got flown out by a woman. That's technically sex trafficking.
Yeah.
That's not being, none of that was worthy of, I'm like, yo, it might make him a freak, but because my problem with Diddy has never been his sex life. And that's what this whole case was about. My whole problem has been that every bad boy artist you name are either unheard of, dead, or broke. Like, these people never resigned to any other labels. The only successful artists from Bad Boy are the ones who left on their own. Everybody who stayed never did well again in life. None of them. Or they went and joined some wild religious cult. Craig Mack was in a cult. Mace turned pastor. Who else? Loon turned Sunni Muslim. Sean turned Hasidic Jews for a little while. Like, he's literally, to me, has always been a devil. I'm like, this guy has people changing into cults, religions. You don't hear from these people anymore. And they're all broken, struggling. One time, I'm not going to put the person out there, one of his former artists actually DM'd me asking me for $50.
Whoa.
Yes. Listen, G-Dep, I'm not talking about G-Dep, but G-Dep was so wacky that he turned himself in for a murder that nobody knew he committed.
Right. But, I mean, heroin played a role in that as well. Let's just keep it 100.
Well, when did he start doing the heroin?
Right. I mean...
You know what I'm saying?
Like I ran into G-Dep. I remember when I first got to New York. Like, we were like in the project somewhere. It's like, oh, it's G-Dep. I'm looking at this dude going like, his mouth was white. Like, he just looked fucked up.
Fried.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, he was just getting high all the time, then just decided to turn himself in.
Right.
See, he didn't know it was a murder, though. I don't know if you know the whole story. I interviewed him in jail over this.
Oh, didn't shoot somebody and then left
right.
the scene?
But he didn't know that the guy died.
They know the guy died.
That's the whole thing. He had shot someone in an armed robbery, and he ran off. And then, like, for years after that, he was like, oh, you know, I'm fucked up right now because of karma, because of that shooting. You know, I need to make it right with God or whatever else, you know. And like his own family was begging him not to do it. Like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. And one day, I guess he just got high, went to the police station and said, hey, you know, back in whatever, 1999, I shot some dude and, you know, I just want to confess to it. And, you know, I want to make sure he's okay. And they looked it up and they're like, oh, that's a murder. And he's like, oh, well, I guess I'm not coming home.
But from what I heard, and I could be wrong, is that he had to come back several times because they wouldn't believe him.
Oh, yeah, I don't know this part of the story. Possibly.
I heard that he came and told him about a shooting. They're like, I'll come back later. Well, get out of here, you psycho. Like, they shoot him off. He was like begging to go to jail, but that's the Diddy effect. I literally went through Wikipedia and went through all of the former artists at Bad Boy, and they all like, where are they, bro?
Well, French Montana is one of the biggest rappers in the world.
Right.
He's got songs, like I think like Unforgettable is one of the most streamed songs ever.
Because of Sway Lee. Keep going.
But he got a bunch of songs. Like he's got a huge catalog of stuff.
All right, French. MGK, is he still?
MGK was the other person I was going to mention.
He's a weirdo now.
He's a bit of a weirdo, but he's still, you know, doing numbers. You know, he's got a baby with Megan Fox. I think he's doing pretty well for himself.
Right.
He's not fucked up.
No, he's definitely not. He's got he's a great actor too.
He's not fucked up. I mean, I'll keep going. I interviewed Slim from 112. We talked about the whole Bad Boy curse. He's but what Bad Boy curse? I've been doing great ever since I signed a Bad Boy.
That's cool, but like 112. All right, so look at the way the artist works, right? There's like when 112 was out, there was nothing bigger than 112. You know, after that ends, why not sign to another label or keep making music? They just stopped. That doesn't happen. Like great artists like that don't stop making music. They go to another label and then, but it's so many artists on that label. Like if you go down the label, like you'll see what I'm talking about.
No, listen, I know a lot of the people on that label. I know people who worked at the label. Like my man Sean Praz, close friend of mine. Right. But at the end of the day, if you look at most artists, most artists have a run, and then, you know, every so often they reinvent themselves, like a 2 Chainz. You know, I'm going to stop calling myself Titty Boy. I'm going to call myself 2 Chainz, and then I'm going to do this whole different thing, and then boom, like he's still doing well. But most artists have a run, and then they pretty much are catalog artists, and they, you know, they go and just do shows like, you know, Remember the Oldies shows and stuff like that. And I mean, but that's just most artists in general. People like to kind of point out Bad Boy as being totally different than any other label, but like, I mean, shit, what did Criss Cross do after So Def?
Died.
Well, one of them died, but you know, that was decades later. I mean, just in general, man. I mean, listen,
they were also kids. I mean, few artists transition from a child star to an adult star. Only a few. Got Chris Brown who did it,
Justin
Usher
Bieber,
did it.
Chris Brown, Michael Jackson. You can name a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Listen, every label has people that fall off. I mean, because look, at the end of the day, it's almost like sports, right?
Right.
You know, you're bred since you're a kid to do this thing, and you put everything into it, and then you finally, you know, you hit the big time, you have a big hit, and then boom, you can't, you know, a hit is hard to come by.
I'm not gonna let you do that, bro.
There's only a few people, there's a few human beings on this earth that can continuously keep coming up with hit records year after year. Most people will have one hit record, and it'll be like, all right, cool.
Right.
It's not followed up with a whole lot of stuff. You know, like was it Jaquan, Tipsy? You know what I'm saying? Like he had one song on, like you can look at So Def and a bunch of the artists you've never heard from again. You know, listen, I mean, Jaquan kind of got, you know, sort of like a whole like renew situation after that one country dude redid a song. You know what I'm saying? But in general, people have a hit and they usually tour off that one or two hit, you know, the one or two hits that they have. And you know, most major labels are not looking for artists that are sort of on the decline. They're looking for artists that are on top of the world, or they're looking for new artists.
Right.
That's just the nature of the music business.
But if you pair that with...
you can't really put it just on Diddy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not the biggest Diddy fan, but I mean, it is what it is. I've been in the music industry since like fucking 2002. Like, it's coming up on 25 years.
I was looking at your old stuff the other day. Old stuff. Because I said something about with Godfrey, I said something about my son. And I didn't realize, because I wanted to look at those old videos. I didn't realize that his videos, his workout videos, you were doing those.
Right.
I'm like, I'm like, yo, Vlad was everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Were you before Smack DVD?
Well, when Smack DVD was out, I had something called Hot in Here DVD, so I had my own version of that. Smack was definitely bigger during that time. I'm not gonna, he was way bigger than me in the DVD era, but once the internet era came in, it was not
I remember
close,
that.
But
I know you've been around for some time.
Yeah, no, I've been around forever. So, listen, I try to be the contrarian and kind of the realist in some of these topics, because it's real easy to say, everyone a bad boy crumbled and died and, turned into crackheads and, religious zealots and whatever else. But look, man, people figure shit out. I think Mace is doing great right now. Last I checked.
Reinvented himself.
Yeah, I ran into him on camera on show. He was iced out, looking good, fresh, happy, smiling. We chopped it up. I don't think Mace is.
I pair, but it's not just. I pair them with other. What's the odds of these street dudes all turning into religions that not even them? Like Craig Mack literally went to a cult.
Yeah.
Loon turned to Sunni Muslim. And the list goes on.
But Loon also went to prison for drug trafficking.
Okay, so why and Sean?
There was that.
Sean? Sean came out of jail as a Hasidic. He had the curls on the side with the.
I remember. I was talking to him during that time.
Yeah,
but also,
bro.
Shine was also deported.
Back to Belize. Yep.
He was literally deported out of the country and had to go live anywhere but America. So he couldn't really keep up his rap career, and he had just did 10 years in jail. Like, it was a messed up situation. You take prison out of the situation, those two probably would have been very different.
I think Diddy's the worst. Like I said, the whole freaky stuff, whatever. I think Diddy is a terrible human being, and I mean, with what he did with the Cassie, the video, beat her up and all of that was horrible too. But the freaky stuff, I think that trial was always going to go the way it did, and I also think he's not going to do any time.
He'll probably get time served, or maybe like a year or so.
I think he's going to get time served.
A year extra. Well, and the final person on the top 10 worst rapper of all time list is Will Smith. Yeah, I'm not going to argue.
I stand on that.
I'm not going to argue.
I stand on that. I'm not budging. I don't care what Philly dude get mad about it, bro. Not budging. Will Smith, for sure.
Well, this leads me to my next list, which you have, which is the top 5 most harmless rapper list.
Well, where did I do that list at? Did I do that on Good Talk? I think I did it on Good Talk.
Yeah, this is a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Good Talk show, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go down the list. Chance the Rapper.
Definitely harmless.
Yeah, definitely harmless.
Harmless. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
He's like 5 feet tall, I think.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want no smoke.
No. Lil Mabu.
Yeah, for sure. He's a drug addict. Oh no. That's not Lil Mabu. Lil Mabu's the white drill rapper from New. Yeah, he's white.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, he's a drill rapper.
I didn't even know who this was.
Yeah, he's a drill rapper. He did a song with Fario Foreign, but he's good though. He's a good rapper, but.
He is a white rapper. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he took the whole drill thing and made it friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's definitely harmless.
Lil TJ.
Harmless. And you know why I say that about him? Because I don't doubt that he would, do something to somebody, but he looks like he's like 5'2", bro. But he talks the biggest talk. He can't physically do anything. You know what I mean? He might do something to somebody with a weapon, but I doubt if he'll do anything to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a bunch of gun charges.
Right. So when I mean harmless, I'm not. Listen, I'm licensed to carry. When I mean harmless, hands free. With no weapon, can you do anything? You're harmless, bro. And that's what I mean.
Well, here's one that I actually disagree with you on. And that is LL Cool J.
I was joking. No, you gotta listen to the I was joking on that one. I always take stabs at LL because LL almost ended up on my worst rapper list. But he's not.
Really? Nah, get out of here.
No, hell no, no. Here's my thing, all right? So here's LL, right? LL, for me, and for a lot of dudes I grew up with, when they come to rapping about girls and song you want to play for the ladies, LL is the GOAT. Like, there's nobody who does it better than him. But when he said, Mama said knock you out, bro, I've never said that. Mama said knock you out. Huh. That's so corny to me, bro. And it led me to make fun of him. Like, yo, Al, shut up. You ain't about to do nothing. You're from Queens, bro. You gotta remember, back in the early 90s and the 80s, like with this thing with Brooklyn, we used to always say Queens is soft. So it's still that mindset. But nah, L's definitely not homeless. He can't. L's what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Muscular.
Solid, yeah, he definitely not homeless.
And look, like, I remember I interviewed Bill Bellamy, who was, one of the actors in Any Given Sunday, and he talked about the fist fight between LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx ain't a slouch either. And Jamie Foxx was muscular and built.
I'm mad LL didn't do more movies because his role as God in In Too Deep, bro, one of the most believable roles ever. I believed him in that role. You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's a great movie. And he played
with Omar Epps?
Yeah, he killed that. He killed that role. Yeah,
so great movie.
Yeah, that one was I was messing around. I was not. Definitely not homeless.
And finally, Drake.
Number one. Most harmless rapper of all time. Harmless. He's Canadian, bro. Not saying there's no gangsters in Canada, but he's definitely not one of them.
I mean, look, I remember I got into it with Drake's crew at one point.
His crew.
Yeah, not Drake himself, and that's the thing, because I remember during that time, this was when was it? Maybe 2013. Vlad TV was maybe 5 years in,
right?
And I ran into him, and I'm like, oh, Vlad TV. He's like, oh yeah, but man, stop talking shit about me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, but I had Charlemagne on my show a lot. That would always diss him.
Oh,
right?
Charlemagne hated. Woo.
Charlemagne would go in. I remember there was this one line where Charlemagne on my show said, "There's gay, there's straight, and there's Drake."
That's a bar
right?
and a half.
So
I understand
that was a bar right there. So I remember I ran into him. I just thought he was kidding, right? Because I never said nothing bad about him.
Right.
And then I remember we ran into each other at New Orleans at the All-Star game was going on that year. And, I walked up to him, we took a picture together. I'm like, try to do an interview. He's like, he was a little standoffish, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't really feel that there was any sort of real friction there.
Right.
And then I met like his little right-hand man, Chubbs, and I introduced myself, and he's like, oh, okay, we exchanged numbers. Next thing you know, maybe about a half hour later, Chubbs gets in my face. He's like, yo, man, why you talking shit about my man Drake? I said, I didn't say shit about Drake. I was like, what are you talking about? No, you talking shit about him. I said, listen, I've had people on my show talk shit about him. Like who? So like Charlemagne. Well, that's your fault too. And I said, okay. I turned around, I motioned for my security. You know what I mean? Right. Security got in between us.
Where was this?
This is in New Orleans. Yeah, the club in New Orleans. So, security, my security was like, I had a Navy SEAL security. He's like, what's the problem?
Was signed to, so he had Lil Wayne people behind him too at that time. It probably ended bad for you and your Navy SEAL guy.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yo, we gonna bounce. That's it. We out. Because he wanted, my security's like, yo, I'm gonna come back in front of him. I'm like, are you fucking crazy right now? Like, what are you trying to do here?
Drake's camp, he got that other dude who I can't stand with him. Did you interview him before?
Who?
The Top 5 dude.
Oh, Top 5? No, but we have an interview in the works.
Bro. He's Somalian. So, I mean, they some crazy dudes. And now Drake's running with him. Drake knows how to align himself with the right people. But Drake himself, his money's not harmless, his people's not harmless, but himself is harmless. He's super harmless, bro. Super. I stand on that. Heavy. Drake wouldn't do nothing to nobody. By himself.
Well, let's go down some more lists, that you have, because these are pretty entertaining. The top 5 songs a man should never dance to. Number 1, Single Ladies by Beyonce.
No, Beyonce, period. There's no Beyonce song in existence that a man should dance to. Single Ladies was just, there's not a Beyonce song that exists that a man, sit down, bro. It's not for you. Now, if Jay-Z part come on and you want to dance with your girl, cool. But if it's Beyonce, they all female empowering songs. No. Yes, Beyonce, don't dance to Beyonce, bro.
I don't actually know this song right here. Boots on the Ground by 803 Fresh.
This is that, what was the girl, the mixed girl who just, she started that line dance. It's a line dance. Like, where them fans at? Where them fans at? So the women come out with these big fans and they do this line dance. And they wear cowboy boots. Yeah, it's a Southern thing, but these dudes is getting involved in it. It's pretty nasty.
Okay. Tootsie Roll by the 69 Boys.
Listen, I got into an argument. They're like, yeah, the 90s was a different time. Let me tell you something. In that song, they say, I don't know what you've been told. It's not the butterflies of Tootsie Roll. South, yes, it is the butterfly. 100% the butterfly. They stole the butterfly and repackaged it into a freaky Southern dance. The butterfly is a Jamaican dance for women. Men don't do that dance. So they tried to make it okay to do it because now it's a bunch of dudes. First of all, they called it the 69 Boys. That was crazy. You know, I got into it with the South this week too because I said the South and Southern men invented twerking.
Oh,
yeah. They did.
Southern men invented twerking.
Comes from, listen, twerking is called the mapuka. It's an African dance that women do in Africa. But twerking itself, back in the 90s, if you watch 2 Live Crew videos and all of the videos, it's the men that's the backup dancers. They were the ones shaking. They called it dick popping, but they was shaking ass, essentially. If you put the cameras behind them, you see what was shaking back there.
You know, but just as a side note, and I came up, you know, I'm 52, so I came up as a break dancer, and I came up dancing, you know, like I graduated in 91.
Right.
You know, this was the MC Hammer era, Vanilla Ice era, even the Public Enemy era. And dudes danced in music videos.
For sure.
Like, you know, like for example, there's this skit that's popular right now that I saw, you know, going viral. It was a Drewski skit. It's like, you know, dudes that go to the club just to dance. Right. And it's like, you're at a goddamn dance club.
Listen, Vlad,
like, why would you not want to dance?
Hey,
like, this is stupid.
I am a dancer.
Yeah.
So in New York, we break dance, we pop lock, you know, it was hype, you know, chub rock, and it was hype dancing. But we wasn't shaking our ass though, bro. We wasn't gyrating all over the place. That's what I'm saying. We danced too. In the 90s, if you watch House Party, like Kid and Play, everybody danced. But wasn't nobody had their hands on their knees and was gyrating, bro. Nobody was doing that.
This is true, but I'm just saying that men dancing in general in hip hop is kind of frowned upon now, which I think is kind of stupid.
Well, not with the young dudes, because they get zesty with it too. Listen, if you look at like drill rappers, they got getting sturdy and all of that. Like that's the younger dudes. The younger dudes still dancing for sure.
I mean, look. I mean, I just interviewed Bobby Shmurda. You know, and his the Shmuddy dance, like Beyonce and Rihanna were doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, the gangsters dance back in the days. But there's certain dances you gotta sit down, bro. Let the ladies have their time, or get behind them. But you shouldn't be joining in with them, bro. Pack that up.
Next on this list is The Butt by EU.
The Butt it's hilarious. I understand it was a different time. This was during school days, and that was a DC thing, because DC had the go-go dancing and everything. But just the name of the dance, The Butt, doing The Butt is insane, bro.
But they're talking about a girl shaking her butt. They're not saying, I'm going to shake my butt. They're saying the girl,
doing the butt. When you get that motion, put your butt in motion. He didn't tell ladies, ain't nothing wrong if you want to do the butt all night long. He didn't make it gender specific. He said, Vlad, ain't nothing wrong, Vlad. If you want to do it, do it.
Look, when you watch the video, when you hear the song, I've always thought he's talking about women. I never thought that I'm supposed to be doing the butt.
It's a nasty song, bro.
I have no butt. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I was a kid when the song came out. I probably partook in the butt. But as a grown man, bro, sit down, my nigga.
And finally, number 5, Dirty Wine by Tony Matterhorn.
Listen, Matsuran was in the comments on that one.
Was he?
Oh, for sure. He jumped in the comments and agreed with me. Like, yes. He said, Dirty Wine, my girl, Dirty Wine. It's for women. So Dirty Wine is literally a dance for women to move their head around. But I've seen guys, probably gay, but I've seen guys get out there. They wasn't doing the Dirty Wine, but they were dancing. It's like, bro, you got to move back and observe the women dance on this one. Don't even do it, bro. So, yeah. That's my top 5. There's a couple of more songs I want to throw in there, but I think I'm going to do a part 2 on that list.
You have, let me see, hold on. There's so many here. The top 5 social media crash outs.
Yes, that was a fun one.
Number 1, Charleston White.
Oh, come on. Come on. I'm surprised he's never, I mean, I know y'all had job, but I'm surprised he's never, have you ever interviewed him?
Twice.
Okay. How he came out? They dropped?
Yeah, millions of views. I was one of the first people. I mean, Sean Cotton was the first person to interview him, and I think I was the second.
Sean Cotton, that's Say Cheese.
Say Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the homie. Yeah, man, I thought he was very poignant in what he was saying. He had some really out there ideas.
Right.
But then he started talking about raping kids and beating up old women and all this racist stuff. Hail Hitler. He starts talking bad about Asian people and all this type of shit. That was just and then he starts talking about my friend's kids, like Boosie's kids and so forth. Math Hoffa's daughter. So he raped Math Hoffa's daughter. It's just some of this shit is I understand what he's doing. I understand this is, even though he's a little older, this is sort of the new generation of, hey, we're going to go farther than anyone else has done it. But what you're doing is kind of disgusting.
With him, I say a lot of stuff, but I put a smile behind it to let people know I'm just joking. I don't mean any harm. When you intentionally doing stuff like that, listen, Charleston White also one of the smartest dudes. He's very smart and insightful. But to intentionally do things like that and be a crash out, you gotta be willing to, you gotta know that there's some things that come with that. And my whole thing is we all could go at any time. If he went based off what he's saying, nobody's gonna care. The internet's gonna laugh. They're gonna say, hey, told you so, good for him.
I mean, look, I'm pretty sure that I'm much safer walking the streets than Charleston White.
What is that?
I feel much safer walking the streets than Charleston White does.
Hell yeah.
When I walk in the street, when I'm around LA, New York, Miami, Houston, people are constantly,
too much, bro.
Asking me for photos. They want to take pictures. They tell me how much they love my shit. I never really worry about dudes trying to fight me just from walking around. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously anything could happen. Right. But I feel with him, you've always you've seen dudes, he's had a pepper spray, he's been attacked in public, he was attacked at a barbershop.
I gotta say I respect that about him, that he's with the shits. He's with
the shits, yeah.
Right, he's not running, he'll call police, but he gonna pull that pepper spray or that knife out first.
Right.
So, I will say he's one of the crash outs that is really like that in real life.
He is.
So.
He is. I mean, listen, if you wanna take on that role,
right,
and this is your persona,
right,
certain things you could apologize your way out of, certain things you can't.
Yeah.
When you start talking about people's kids, some people
unforgivable.
don't want to hear it.
Hell no, I wouldn't.
People, if him and Math Hoffa ran into each other, I think it'd be pretty bloody.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Knowing Math Hoffa the way I do.
For sure.
I think he's talking about raping his daughter and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
I think Math will probably put hands on him and not worry about what happens next.
It could be years that go by. It's just still unforgivable. It's not. It's dudes I know that it's one comedian in Orlando. If I ever see him, I'm gonna put hands and feet on him. I'm going to put hands and feet on him. And it was years ago, but I'm going to beat his ass.
Man, listen, I've gone at it with some of the best and some of the biggest. Right, I've gone back and forth with people and so forth, but the one thing that people could honestly say about me is that I've always kept it between me and them.
Right.
I never talked about it. Even when me and Marlon Wayans was going at it.
That was funny, by the way.
It was kind of funny, wasn't it?
That was funny.
But I never talked about his trans son or daughter. I'm not quite sure which it is
that
or whatever.
Why he goes so hard? Because I knew he was an LGBT supporter, which is it's fine. But he like in June, he dresses up for it. Like he goes a little extra with the support. Is that why? Because I didn't know he had a gay child. Or trans
child. Is it a daughter that became a boy? I don't quite remember which it is. But what I'm saying is, regardless of how hard, and me and him were going at it hard.
Yeah,
right.
But didn't it have something to do with he wanted 40,000 or something like that from you?
He wanted. We reached out to him to do an interview, and we've run into each other before. We had a rapport. We've even done little interviews like during press junkets and stuff like that. So when I approached him to do an interview, he goes, "Oh, talk to my girl, my assistant that handles it." And she asked for 40,000 plus 30% of all the revenue forever.
That's crazy.
And I was like, that's crazy. Like that's a ridiculous number.
That's a crazy number.
I said nobody's gonna offer you that. No one on earth will offer you that much money.
That's a crazy number. And that's a crazy number for Marlon. Marlon's that guy. He's that guy.
Listen, and he deserves that when you're doing a movie or maybe doing a show.
Yeah,
I get it. But to do a YouTube video, you're not gonna get that. And now, I was an asshole about it. I decided to make it all front and center. Yeah, I was an asshole. And I apologized about that, right?
He got you back, though, bro.
No, he got me back. He went at me hard,
He got you back.
But to my point, since that time, nobody has offered him that type of money to do interviews, including Shannon Sharp, where he did sort of the follow-up interview to our beef.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp doesn't pay anything.
Yeah.
So you could sit there and say, you're not going to tell me what my worth is as a man. Well, the market tells you what your worth is.
Facts.
Right? Imagine you have a manager, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine telling your manager, listen, from now on, I'm only doing stadiums.
Right.
If they don't book me for a stadium, fuck these clubs. I'm doing stadiums because I know my worth.
Right now, if I said that to him.
Right now, at this very moment, you know how many bookings you'll get?
He'll quit. There's no way.
You'll get 0
I don't even
bookings.
want to do a stadium right now. Hell no.
Right.
Nah, I'm good.
Now, let's just say a few years from now you get to that point. You're like, yeah, I always knew I'd get there. People just didn't believe in me. That's cool, I get it. Right. But at this very moment, based on what the market, the number of seats that you could fill in some sort of venue is not a stadium.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you are not Dave Chappelle at this point, and that's okay.
Right.
Now, you could feel like you're better than Dave Chappelle, but the market will tell you otherwise.
Right. If I did a stadium right now, I would be opening for somebody. I wouldn't be the headliner.
Right.
Definitely not.
So my point is, and he's talked about this on the Breakfast Club and so forth, you're going to go tell me what I'm worth? The market tells you what you're worth.
Right.
And my whole thing was the market is not 40,000.
No.
I think I offered like maybe 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, with 5, based on the number of views you get, because listen, I get a lot of views too when I'm on other people's platforms. Like I know how this works. Like no one really knows how it works better than me because I've just been doing it longer.
Right.
And that was the whole thing. That was sort of where the friction was. And I was a jerk by putting it all out there. I could have just kept it as a private conversation. And he was very nice to me when we talked about it. So he was actually a cool dude. And if we run into each other at some point, hopefully we can just have a regular conversation. And I can tell him that, during that time I was also going through a lot of shit. And I think he just kind of came in at the wrong time.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's what it was really about. Right. And like I said, and I've seen him do a whole bunch of interviews since then. And I know all the people personally who conducted those interviews, and I know for a fact that they didn't pay him anything. Those were all free interviews. So, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
Right.
Next on the list, Hassan Campbell.
Super crash out. He actually just made 2 videos about me too on YouTube.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He made 2 videos about me. One was because he was commenting on the whole Diddy thing, and he was going extra hard about it. So I'm like, bro, why are you so vocal on this? And the dude who did what they did to you, you didn't press charges on him. So I spoke out about that, and he responded, made a response video to me about it. And then the second one was, cut his hair. About a couple of days after that, he cut his hair off. And in the video, I told him to cut his hair off because he looks ridiculous. So 3 days later, he wound up cutting his hair off, and I took credit for it. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one to say something about his hair. So he cut it off, and he made a follow-up video saying, he kind of laughed. I told him he looked like a gentleman. He needed a little Beijing to cover up the bald spots. But Hassan is definitely a crasher. I think Hassan is definitely somebody who wouldn't shoot. I think he'd stab. He's a crazy dude, bro. He's one of them crazy Bronx dudes. I grew up with dudes like that. And those are the dudes that just snap and crash out.
I mean, look, I've interviewed Hassan before, and he's talked shit about me before.
Right.
But my whole thing is like, I don't really care. Yeah,
That's his whole
I
career.
personally I've learned over time. You know who really taught me this? When I watched the Vince McMahon documentary, and I saw how this dude would have all these wrestlers who would leave, badmouth him, sue him, and win, and he'd bring him back, and he paid him. And he would incorporate the lawsuit into the storyline. Mm-hmm. And he made millions off of that.
Right.
That's what made me say, you know something? All these little beefs or whatever, they're not really that serious.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all here, doing business.
Right.
Like, like for example, you said, Godfrey. I'm like, do I have real beef with Godfrey? Absolutely not.
For sure.
Absolutely not. When I saw him, I had my security with him, with me, actually.
And
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was right there with my security. He had his gun on and whatever else. There was no aggression coming from me whatsoever when I saw him. I shook his hand and I was firm about it. I said, yo, we need to talk.
Right.
And the only reason why we didn't talk at that moment was because we were on Big Boy's show. We were at a radio station, and Big Boy literally lives down the street from me, and that's my friend. I didn't want to have this turn into potentially an argument in the middle of a radio station. Mm-hmm. But I don't have any real beef with Godfrey. It was just some shit was said, and I'm addressing it at this point. But at the end of the day, we could potentially do some business in the future if it makes sense for everybody involved.
Right.
Like I try not to take it too seriously.
Right.
And same thing with, Hassan. I mean, he's got an interesting story. I mean, the Africa Bambaataa thing is, a lot of stuff has come out. Do I believe that Bambaataa raped him? Yeah, I think so. It makes sense.
I don't think he did.
You don't think so? But I did bring up that even after all these alleged rapes, they would be hanging out together. There's photos of them together.
Right. I think in the beginning, it probably was something he wasn't sure about. I think Africa Bambaataa definitely probably molested him. I think he had Stockholm syndrome when it comes to Africa Bambaataa. I think he had Stockholm syndrome because he would go back. He wasn't a little kid, bro. He was a teenager. I was having sex with I had my first kid at 18. So, you know what I mean? I was having sex since I was 14, 15 years old. So I knew who I was. No man could have came around and manipulate me to do nothing. But, if you're a weaker little kid, I can see you and Bambaataa he's a legend, like Zulu Nation. He was a celebrity. So I can see him being starstruck and being manipulated into doing something he didn't want to do. But I think after a while, it became something that was consensual. I don't think it was. Why would you go back? When he got stabbed, when Africa Bambaataa got stabbed, he went and see him in the hospital.
Right. Yeah, no, we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I think it definitely was some Stockholm syndrome. It doesn't mean he wasn't. I think he had he was in love with his attacker. I definitely don't think he was raped. I don't believe that at all.
Well, this next person I had an experience with, Aaron the plumber.
You had an experience with Aaron the plumber?
Oh, yeah. One of the worst people I've ever come across.
He's definitely a crash out, bro.
Literally one of the worst. Let me tell you something. Look, I have been doing interviews on Vlad TV since 2008.
Right.
Okay? I've had a bunch of times where we've booked somebody, they didn't show up. That happens. That's just part of the business. Right? You book someone, they don't show up, or they can't make their flight, or they're running late, or they take a side trip and whatever, and by an hour in, I'm like, okay, I'm going home. Like, I'm not doing this anymore, right? That has happened lots of times. But I have never, ever, 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 ever flown somebody in and then not have them show up after they were flown in and booked into their hotel and everything else like that, all off of our dime.
Wow.
That's what Aaron the plumber did.
Wow.
We were talking to him. We agreed that he would do an interview. He asked for an appearance fee. We said, unfortunately, we can't offer you that, but we could pay for your flight and your hotel. Right. He's like, okay, no problem. I'm going to do it. I really want to do the platform. It'll be greater later, some, whatever. We flew him in, and the motherfucker didn't show up to the interview. You know, stopped answering his phone, and then started doing videos like, yeah, I'm in New York on Vlad's dime. You know, I ain't doing the interview. You know, he didn't pay. You know, my luggage got lost, and it's his fault, and all this weird ass shit. And it's like, what the fuck? We didn't do anything negative to this guy.
Let me tell you something about him, bro. He better hope that he can make something past being an aggressive dude online. Because honestly, I think one, and respectfully, bro, I think he's slow.
Yeah, I think he's like borderline retarded.
I think he's slow. You know, I think he's a slow dude, and he's capitalizing. And whoever's behind him, because it's not him, it's definitely not him. He got some kind of management people behind him that's pushing him in different directions, like with the balloon pop thing. I think most of the times he crash out, he's kind of justified. I think he's justified when he crashes out. He reminds me of the dudes I grew up with from the 90s that always wanted to fight somebody. But that gimmick shit, bro, anybody, if you notice on the social media space, if you're a gimmick, if whatever you're doing, it's going to run out. It's going to run out, and you're going to become the next wide neck or the next long neck dude or Welvin, or you remember there was this whole influx of deformed dudes that was online, and it was Woe Vicky. Like the only remedial one that made something of themselves was Bad Baby. She was the only one, but all of them, remember that A-Town dude? Good morning to you. He wound up needing like a liver transplant. They all broke. Welvin was a bum in Vegas. People get behind them, make some money on them, and then they got to figure out their next 15 minutes of fame. He has no talent. None. He has no talent. He's entertaining when he's trying to fight somebody, but beyond that, what else you got? I guess, are they going to give him a reality show or something? You going to give him his own show?
Well, and he also has gotten the shit beat out of him, I think once by a transgender, another time by a male porn star.
That dude died,
one time by a Ray J security beat the shit out of him.
No, he spit on him.
Spit on him, there you go.
That's worse.
That's worse. Yep.
That's an immediate, we're fighting for that. I think he's a dude who's willing to fight all the time, but beyond that, there is nothing there. I think he should have showed up, bro.
I mean, I was shocked. Like, I really was like literally nothing happened, you know? And it was like he was coming in for a day, and he's talking about how his luggage was lost. Who brings in check-in luggage for a day? Like, how many wife beaters do you need? 34 wife beaters in one day? Like, how much you sweating?
Yeah, pack him up, bro. Yeah, he's definitely a crash out, and I give him another. He'll be a has-been by the end of the year.
I agree. And here's the thing, though, like, in this industry, and this is what people don't always realize, is that when you look at the guys and girls that have made it decade after decade,
right?
Like when you actually meet up with them and see how they operate, people like Snoop Dogg,
right?
People like Nelly,
right?
Like these dudes are so professional. They are so nice. I saw Snoop take pictures with fans for an hour. Not industry people, just regular fans that were there at a movie screening that he was doing. Like, he is so nice, he's so professional, he handles his business. Like, if they say they're gonna do something, they're gonna do it. If they can't do it, they'll hit you ahead of time, they'll explain the situation, they'll reschedule, whatever else. To sit there and have, and here's the thing, I've been making my money back just talking shit about him. It's like, okay, I lost a little bit of money on this flight. All right, I'm gonna make it back on you. No problem. I have a way to make money back on you. You know, by talking bad about you and letting everyone know that if you want to do business with Aaron the plumber, this is what I went through.
Damn.
You know, you're going to fly him out, you're going to spend money, and he's going to flip out and not show up and talk shit about you online. And this bozo even posted my phone number on his Instagram. So I was having literally 300 phone calls a day.
He doesn't have anything else. I mean,
he has nothing else going on.
Like, I mean,
just a bum. And absolutely, like, he would be homeless if it wasn't for the internet right now.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he's a snitch as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, listen,
Yo,
I've seen some paperwork.
Dude, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know much about him aside from him being online wilding out on people.
Yeah. Fuck that dude. 607 Unk.
Yeah, he's a crash out.
Why?
he just give me that energy. I mean, he's crashed out online. He says, but when I made that list, I came back and looked, and I saw that actually the person who should have been in that place is the person who he was beefing with. That's that 4 Extra dude. He's definitely a crash out.
Woo! 4 Extra. 4 Extra who blew his hand off with a firework.
Somebody told me, hey, you should have put 4 Extra instead of 607 Unk.
All right, so we're taking 607 Unk. Okay, there we go. 607 Unk is off the list. 4 Extra. You know something? I feel like 4 Extra really is the list at this point.
Now, after what just happened to him, but it depends on how he comes back.
It doesn't matter how he comes back. He's not going to be back with 10 fingers. Okay?
Right. But no,
right. You know something? He woke up that day not realizing that's the last day of his life to have 10 fingers.
Listen, you don't get all the ironic things here. The irony is his name is 4 Extra, and now he needs 4 extra fingers.
Oh, no.
You know what? He don't even got to change his name.
Oh, my God. That is so funny.
He don't even got to change his name. He can keep the same name. Now it actually has a meaning. Or is it 2 Extra? No, his name is 4 Extra. And he got, yo, bro, you don't understand how crazy that is. To be named, your name is already 4 Extra, and then you get 4 fingers blown off, and you need 4 extra fingers. That's insane, bro. That's irony at its core.
I mean, who lights an M80 firework and doesn't run away as soon as it's lit? Like, who does this? Who holds that in their hand and then has their whole hand blown off?
What grown man is lighting? We lit M80s when I was a kid, and the stem is so short on those M80s. What we used to do was put an extra stem to make it longer, so you wouldn't have to deal with it. And we would put them in payphones. We would put them in garbage cans. We used to mainly, but as a grown man, like when I do fireworks, I'm doing the big cakes or the big rockets. I'm not booming nothing. I want to see a show. So to be a grown man running around with, did you see how short the stem is on those fireworks he had?
Man, listen, I don't even fuck around with fireworks. At the end of the day, as a grown-ass man, this is not something I'm even remotely looking into doing. Like, bro, these things are dangerous. You're talking about M80s and so forth.
Yeah,
these aren't even legal
have
fireworks.
A stick of dynamite, but he's one of those guys.
Yeah, it's basically a stick of dynamite.
But the way you carry on in life is the way people are going to respond. Do you understand? That's horrible to get your hand blown off, and people are laughing at him, bro. It's because of the way he is. Now, does he deserve it? Probably not. But the energy you give out to the world is the energy you're going to get right back tenfold. And everybody, even Aaron the plumber, made a video laughing because I think they were actually preparing for a boxing match.
For a boxing match, which
and then you get your hand blown
obviously.
Off.
Yeah.
And now you're getting, I'm talking about people are laughing at him, bro. Laughing at this man.
Well, and here's the other thing. I get my hand blown off. What's the first thing I do? Post it on the internet.
Yeah.
He posted himself, I think.
Did he?
I think so.
Well, I just saw a picture of him like holding it.
Nah, but I think there was like an Instagram story. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
And somebody said a friend that was with him
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just saying.
Somebody said a friend that was with him got half his face blown off.
I mean, did you see like bro,
it's
like
bad,
the actual real picture of what his hand looked like? Bro. It was just ghoulish.
Yeah. Yeah, I should see that shit on Rotten.com back in the days.
Oh man, we were all hanging out on the 4th of July talking about it. And it was just like, what the hell?
And nobody cares, bro. When you're a crash out like that, you threaten people. He threatened 607 Unk. I think 607 Unk actually left the show after that. I mean, people was legit scared of this dude. And he was a crash out. And now look at him. What can you do, bro? And I believe I'm a lefty, bro. If something happens to this hand, you might as well chop them both off because I can't do shit with my right hand, bro.
Right. No, I think it was his right hand. He's probably a righty.
Probably a righty.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah. Well, and this last person, this is someone who I've had somewhat of an experience with. Fleece Johnson, a.k.a. the Booty Warrior.
Let me tell you something about that guy, man. They got to stop interviewing that nigga, bro. They got to get him, send him back to jail, bro. Fleece Johnson gonna do something to somebody one day. He gonna do something to somebody. I think he already got beat up on one of these shows. for trying to come at a dude.
Well, no, I think
sexually.
Woody ended up kind of shoving him.
No, he got into an actual fight. I saw him rolling around on the floor with somebody. Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, they got to get that man off the internet. Listen, first of all, it should have stopped at the CNBC interview from all of them years ago, and then the Boondocks got at him. Then he came home. I will say this: whoever found out Felice Johnson was out of jail and actually interviewed him is a genius. That was a smart guy out there. You're a genius for that. But then he just kept interviewing him. And I'm like, why does a man like this have a platform? Felice Johnson need to be back in jail, bro.
Well, here's my story with him. I was actually a character on the Boondocks.
I remember that.
Remember that? You know, not in the Booty Warrior episode, a different episode.
Okay.
Right? So I've always been linked with the Boondocks because of that.
Right.
And it was like my favorite show on television
for sure.
at the time. And me and Carl Jones are friends and so forth. He's the co-writer and the main artist. So everyone's like, yo, Felice Johnson, the Booty Warrior's out of jail. You should interview him. So we reached out, we set up an interview, and the way I work is, I'll set up the interview, and then my assistant, Evan, who you've been dealing with, he'll basically lay out all the research and the notes for me.
Right.
So as I'm preparing, I think like the interview was like the next day or something, I'm going through the notes, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this dude's an actual rapist. Like,
yeah.
He actually raped a bunch of men.
Real rapist, bro. Like
real gay rapist, And I'm going through this like, nah, man, I'm not doing this interview. Because I thought that maybe he was just like trolling and he was just fucking around and whatever else, bro. And trying to go viral, whatever it was called back then. The whole like locked up episode. But I'm going through, it's like, oh, he raped this dude or raped this dude, blah, blah, blah. Then you see him, like, he do that Drewski thing. He's like, oh, first time I came was in a man's butt. Like, oh, like, okay.
Bro, that is wild.
That is wild. So as I'm going through this and I'm going through the notes, I'm like, I'm not giving this guy a platform. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm done. I'm not doing this. So basically, we canceled on him, right?
He
did a video threatening to rape me.
Whoa. Oh, I'm just joking. He actually did that?
Oh, yeah. He said, Vlad, I seen what you did. Cancel my interview. I'm just going to tell you this. I likes you and I wants you. I'm like, oh, shit. He's trying to rape me right now. Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to have to be on the lookout for this guy.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. If a man threatens to rape you, he's 100% he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Threatening to kill somebody is one thing. Because not for nothing, if you threaten to rape me, bro, when I see you, I'm doing something to you first. Threatening to kill, I'll wait for you to make a move. But threatening to rape, bro, I have to put you down, bro. Pause. Put you down.
Yeah, I don't really see myself being in the same room with Felice Johnson in the foreseeable future. But for example, my man Terrence Gangster Williams interviewed him.
That is a reason to snitch. Call the cops on him, bro. Get him locked up. He want to go back to jail anyway.
Put
Felice back. Felice should have never came home.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. The fact that he's doing 20 versus 1s and so forth is just...
And like, why are y'all bringing this man on?
I have no idea.
These guys
like I said, man, like, to be fake, like, man, look, okay, you have a lot of famous people that may have been accused of doing a rape, here and there, and certain people will give them a pass. Like, like Bill Cosby still has a lot of fans.
For sure.
Right? Bill Cosby, with this many people come forward, he probably did rape a few people here and there, but he has this huge body of work. The Cosby Show, it really changed, I think, America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the biggest show on television. You had, unlike, Good Times and all these other shows, it showed a high class, the father's a doctor, the mother's a lawyer, the kids are going to college, they live in a high-end neighborhood in Brooklyn, it's like, he did classic stand-ups.
Right.
Like Fatherhood by Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby's one of the GOATs, man.
All-time classic.
100%.
Right? So you kind of give him a pass because of everything else he's done. At least some people will.
Right.
But when all you're known for is being a rapist, that's all you're known for.
This is what he's
Your
famous
name is
for.
the Booty Warrior.
He's famous from raping men.
For raping men. This is what you're famous for. You're famous for raping men. I just can't put you on my show for that. I'm sorry. I chickened out.
Salute
I said,
to you,
no, I'm
bro.
not doing it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the cameraman. Fuck the
You
studio.
know, it shows you a number of things.
We'll write it off. Whatever. Fuck
It
that.
shows you a number of things, how this world works nowadays, right? Because one, it shows you nobody gives a shit about men, bro.
Yeah,
Like, because
pretty
he
much.
raped men is funny, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Right.
It's funny. Even on the Boondocks, it was funny.
It was funny.
Two, the guys who are interviewing him have no moral code because they're interviewing a known, admitted, convicted rapist. So at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit about men, bro. And nobody got morals when it comes to men.
Yep.
Interviewing a rapist is crazy. And he's talking about it freely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fleece Johnson, I don't want that man nowhere around me. He's definitely the biggest crash out on the internet because I know he'll do it again, bro.
Didn't you call Fat Joe hip hop's biggest liar?
100%.
How's that?
Fat Joe's always lying. Fat Joe, he actually responded. Well, his manager actually DM'd me. I thought it was gonna be beef, but he actually thought. In fact, he said Fat Joe thought it was funny because I did a list Fat Joe's top 5 biggest lies. One of the biggest lies was that he said he robbed a whole gym, a Bronx school gym, the Bronx. I saw Fat Joe when he was younger. He was a fat kid. Now, knowing how gyms are at recess in school, at any given moment, there's going to be between 70 to 150 kids in there at one time, right? He said he robbed 70 kids by himself at no weapon, at hand point, right? Went around, robbed everybody. So everybody stayed put. Nobody decided to jump him. I'm painting a picture here for you, Vlad. He said he had so much stuff that some of the people he robbed helped him carry it. Come on, bro. That right there. But then there's several lies that being like I'm when he paints these pictures about it, I'm like, Fat Joe, come on, son. There's no way. Then another story about, and granted, some of these might just be exaggerations. Because I'm pretty sure he probably robbed maybe 1 or 2. Because I knew dudes that I went to school with like that. That was that scary that they'll rob 5 people at one time and they won't do nothing. But 70? Come on, man. Fat Joe's definitely, well, he's hip-hop's, you've got to be thinking about a list. Because there's other liars who's been, like Bow Wow's a liar. Soulja Boy's a liar. They're liars. They've been proven wrong about a lot of things they said. Bow Wow, they had the Bow Wow challenge because Bow Wow lied.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He had a whole challenge behind his lies.
Well, they had the Soulja Boy challenge after my interview with him. Remember?
Oh,
the pow, pow, pow.
Yeah, that's right. Soulja Boy's a liar.
You know what's funny though about that story is that after I did the interview and the whole Soulja Boy challenge and everyone's like, oh, he lying. I actually interviewed the dude that he shot.
I remember that. Because
he said that he didn't shoot me. Now, he claimed that he smacked Soulja Boy first,
right.
but he did say that, Soulja Boy shot him in the ass.
That was one of the most awkward. Those dudes had no personality. Because Soulja Boy said he killed the dude. He
didn't say that, but he kind of didn't say he didn't kill him.
He alluded to it, and then the dude actually showed up. You said, did Soulja Boy shoot you? He said, yeah, he shot me. Yo, getting shot and then coming to talk about yourself getting shot is crazy to me. But yeah, Soulja Boy told that story that he said he slapped Soulja Boy. I saw that. But Fat Joe, I believe, he's more consistent and vocal with his lies. Fat Joe is very consistent with. I think Fat Joe. I know guys like that, man. I know guys who tell lies like that. Just always with these and there's nobody who ever could confirm your story. It's always you. Like, you're the only one who knows this story. Nobody can corroborate your story.
Well, yeah, I think in our interview, the last time I interviewed, and this was a long time ago, last I checked, Joe doesn't like me I'm not quite sure why, but he just doesn't like me at this point. But he had said in the interview that him and Biggie had a joint album together that never came out.
That's crazy.
And everyone I've talked to that were around, Biggie during that time, have all said this just isn't true.
I mean,
no such album exists. And if you think about it, if that album did exist, don't you think that those Biggie lyrics would have shown up on other songs?
Fat Joe would have 100% put it out. Fat Joe has been, since COVID, he's been doing different things to stay relevant. And he's been doing a great job at it. You know, remember he had the live thing, and then he did Versus, and then he had a show on, what was the network? He had a show on the network recently. I don't know if it is stuck. I think that was on he had a show on Tidal. Remember, he had a podcast on Tidal where he interviewed 6ix9ine, and then he had another show, and now he got so Fat Joe's always been doing things. Do you think the type of guy Fat Joe is, who always wants to be heard, would have a Biggie album that we never heard, lyrics we never heard, and we don't hear nothing?
Yeah.
Come on. Fat Joe's not the type of guy who could not have that put out there. That's cat, bro. He's lying.
Yeah, I don't think that album exists. And at the end of the day, I respect Fat Joe. I'm not going to say nothing bad about him. He's a thorough guy. Like, some of the stuff he says really did happen.
Fat Joe, I can see him honestly coming back and saying, yo, you know what? I spoke to the producer who actually produced it, engineered that. He said he never hit the record button, B. So we did the album, he just never hit record. Yo, I'm gonna call him.
We were there a whole week.
He ain't pick
we
up
had
the phone.
38 songs.
Yo, we did,
and every time he was pressing the wrong
button. This guy never hit record? I can see him saying some shit like that, bro.
Well, at one point, didn't Fat Joe say that he was a 5%er?
Come on, man. It doesn't stop with this guy. It doesn't stop with this guy. Ask him what's today's mathematics.
Shout out to Lord Jamar.
Yeah, right? Oh, shout out to Lord Jamar. Jamar follows me, too.
Oh, yeah.
He follows
Jamar, that's an actual 5%er.
Yeah, oh, I know. I talked about him with Godfrey because I thought, first of all, what they fell out about was stupid to me. I didn't like that they fell out.
The whole flat earth thing?
No, it's because what happened was funny. It was funny. As a comedian, it was hilarious to me. I saw a skit in my head because I can't write this joke. Because flat earthers are very firm on their beliefs, you know, and Lord Jamar is a guy who you can't move him. He's an intelligent guy. You know what I'm saying? He seems like the dude, when he believes some shit, that's it.
Yeah, man, listen, when I did my first interview with him again recently, I brought up the flat earth thing and he was not budging.
He stand on it. But in that interview, he got destroyed, bro.
Well, I mean, because he's dealing with an actual scientist that actually understands, like if you throw out something, like if you throw out sort of like, well, what about a tennis ball in water?
Yeah,
like
we don't deal
this
in theories
guy
here,
can
buddy.
actually answer and break it down.
And that's the problem with a lot of people.
And that's the thing. Like, so when I debate with him, I sort of get stuck at certain times, right?
Right.
But when you're talking about a scientist, then, you approach it a little bit differently.
But the thing about it is, I'm very careful on who I debate about certain things because I need to know I have extensive knowledge about it to even have the conversation. And he didn't have the answers. And then he switched to violence. And that shit was hilarious to me, bro. That's what I talked about with Godfrey. And I said, damn, y'all fell out about that because I saw the interview when he got annihilated by the scientists, and then he went to violence with the white dude. And I'm like, damn, come on, Jamal, don't do that, bro. Just take the L. Take the L. You lost. Don't threaten to beat the dude up, bro. But the fact that he did that and went that route, I laughed my ass off, bro.
Well, I think the problem was that I think Jamar asked Godfrey not to put it out.
Right.
And I think Godfrey agreed, but then Godfrey went and sent the actual studio footage to the guy who then put it out. And I think that sort of caused the friction because it's like, listen, if you're my man and I ask you to do something and you agree to do it, and then you turn around and do the exact opposite, then you've just kind of violated our trust and our friendship.
But from my understanding, I think it was a cross promotion thing. Like I think the footage that Godfrey had from the guy, I think it was always supposed to be going to the guy.
Well, no. The guy had his own footage, which was more the FaceTime footage, but the actual studio footage, Godfrey actually sent to the guy, which is the way Jamar explained it to me.
But that never got out,
problem. No?
No.
Okay, well then maybe I don't know. Listen, I didn't try to get too deep into that whole situation because at the time I wasn't rocking with either one of them.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
The back and forth that I saw online wasn't studio footage. It looked like a FaceTime thing. It was choppy. It wasn't in the studio.
No, I saw studio footage where you saw all of them sitting down.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
I definitely saw that.
Maybe.
Here's another topic that hits close to home as well. You talked about Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah, man. I think Umar is one of the most brilliant black men ever. He's a great orator, but I think he's a con artist. And people, I'll say that shit on this platform. People are like, oh, how you gonna say that in front of the white man? I say it on my own platform, bro. I've been saying it for years because, first of all, if you're gonna open up a school for black people, for black students, like, oh, bro, open the school up, man. I'm about to get some shirts that say where the school at. He just put a video out the other day talking about the school got vandalized and a bunch of people, some kids broke in. It's like, come on, man. I think Umar's one of the smart. Listen, he definitely is one of the most brilliant black. I used to listen to Umar all the time, and I love to listen to him talk because he just knows how to. He's just great with words. But I think you could be either a superhero or a supervillain, right? Superhero and a supervillain is the same thing, right? You could be Megamind, or you could be I forgot the good guy name. They're the same person. How do you want to use your superpowers though? Do you want to scam people, or do you want to do it for the betterment of black people? What are you trying to do? And like I said, I'm not taking nothing away from him. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great orator, but I think he's a con artist.
Look, I interviewed him in 2016. Where he was telling me all about the school he was about to launch. This is almost 10 years ago.
Come on, bro.
This whole time he's had like a Cash App on his Twitter asking for donations to the school.
Come on, man.
It is 2025.
Go about opening up a business like everybody else, bro. Like, I understand you wanted to be black funded and black owned. I get all of that, man. But it's a lot of black owned businesses that's backed by black people. There's black banks out there, man. So to go after your supporters for the money and take their hard-earned money and then there's no finished product and it's always an excuse, I think he's full of shit. I've been saying it for years. Like, and like I said, because I'm saying it to you, there's gonna be black people that's gonna go against it because they don't know me. But if you look at my platforms, I've been saying this publicly.
Look, I did the interview with him. And I thought it was a decent interview.
Right.
And then I remember he started talking a bunch of shit about me, about the way that I did the clips or whatever and did the titles, which was really exactly what he was saying. Nothing was off.
Right.
But whatever, people get mad at me after the fact. I don't really care. And then every so often he would just sort of just go off on me for various things. And most recently, I had Ary Spears on my show.
Right? My guy.
And we were talking about Umar. He goes, listen, man, I don't know what's up with Umar, but there's some bad white chicks, out there. He's like, listen, I would have sex with a white chick on top of Dr. Umar Johnson.
That's crazy, but I get it. I get the joke.
He said on top of Dr. Umar Johnson. So then what does Umar do? What does Umar do? He posts a clip. He said, why do black men keep going and embarrassing themselves on this white man's platform instead of other African platforms? And it's like, man, listen, I bet you that Ary Spears will have sex with a white woman on top of you before you open up that school.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about being a good orator and a good controller. Listen, the one thing I've always learned about speaking and saying things is to control your narrative. And if you say something, stand on it. So what people are doing on social media now, because you have the power to do that, is edit and take out what you wanted to say. Because I'll say this. I always say over and over again, if you control the narrative, and keep repeating yourself, then there's nothing to lie up. There's nothing to have to remember, right? You don't got to remember anything if you always stand on what you say. Once again, Umar, intelligent black man, but I think he deals with a lot of stupid people. And when you deal with stupid people, you can get them to believe what you want to believe. Me, you can't do that with me. I know bullshit when I hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. I'm a business owner. I own my own business. And I didn't have to run to anybody to ask. You're begging your supporters for money and then guilting us to do it. I think that's terrible to do that. Because most people would love to see a Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for Boys. I think that's a dope idea. But to go after supporters, like, yo, bro, go get a fucking bank loan like everybody else, bro. Get a bank loan, get some good credit, build up some business credit, and get a bank loan and get some people behind you that way, and then pay the white people back their money. Why are you acting like you know what I'm saying? If you don't got the startup money to fund it, get the startup money to fund it, pay it back, and now you own it. Mm-hmm. But to be so proud as to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go after you guys. It's the same thing that black preachers do. They do the same thing. They do the same thing, and then when you need help from them, they go right back to those people, right? That's why I don't go to church. Because you step foot in a black church and they say, listen, we need an offering. They take all of this money from all of the people. They take all their money. And then when a member of the congregation says, hey, my mother is sick or my father is sick, they go right back to the congregation, put you in front of the congregation and say, hey, let's connect some money for Brother Miller. No, I came to you and asked you. So not only do you rob me of my dignity, you don't even help me.
I mean, look, at one point, Umar was saying he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, I found out I was
Frederick Douglass' family said that is just not true on any level.
Right.
You know, so it's just like he's been caught in so many lies along the way. But here's the thing, though. Like, I get it. When it comes to this internet thing, when you look at everyone who's popular,
right, they
all have a thing.
Right.
Right? You could say that with Vlad TV, I'm the police. Right?
Yeah,
you could say that.
Definitely.
It's fine.
I already got my lawyers ready.
This point. I know in reality I'm not the police. I know that I've never got anyone locked up. I know that none of my interviews have ever been used against anyone in court, except with the possibility of Keefe D, who wrote a book about everything before coming on my show.
You definitely got Keefe D locked up. You definitely did that.
Right. Outside of that, but all these people who they say that there's no truth, you could go through the court transcripts, but it's cool. Like, but my whole thing is, regardless of the reality of it, I know that when I do questions and I talk to certain street guys and ex-cons and so forth, I go very deep into these stories, and this is what I'm known for, and I consider I'm one of the best at what I do. Right? So I've leaned into it. This is what I embrace. I don't try to apologize for it. This is what I'm great at. Umar has his thing. His thing is he's pro-black. He's anti-biracial, and I have biracial kids, so it's like, to me, that whole thing is just stupid.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Mike, so do I.
Dumb.
So do I.
Yeah, exactly.
So do I.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I can never support that part, but I understand that with him, this is what his followers eat up, and he's made money off of it. He tours off of it. He gets views off of it. People donate money for a school that will probably never open and so forth, and that's cool. We talked about Charleston White. His thing is that he'll snitch on you. He's a snitch. He'll tell on you. He'll report you to the police. He'll press charges. He'll talk. He'll say the craziest things to try to get you to crash out and so forth. Right. Everyone has their thing, and that's his thing, and that's cool. If you want to do that, that's cool. But when you start taking people's money and you don't give them the product that they've been paying for,
yeah, bro,
that to me is foul. And
no reason. Like, give me a reason. Yeah. It's like you're running out of excuses. Like, now you're saying, and you know what? I saw an actual building with the name on it. I'm not saying that it's not an idea in the works, but what I'm saying is I've never opened up a school in my life, and I don't know nobody who has opened one. However, I know it doesn't take 10 years. I know it doesn't. That's bullshit, bro.
Oh yeah, no, listen, when he did my interview in, what did I say, 2016?
Right.
Like, he had been pushing this idea for years at that point.
For sure.
It's not like he announced it on Vlad TV. It was already a thing.
Right.
That was in the works.
Listen,
listen, man, I know Umar was going to post a video and tell all his fans to boycott me or whatever, like that's going to make any difference whatsoever.
this
His
is not-
fans
this
don't
is
like
not-
me anyway, so it's fine. Like, but at the end of the day,
Right.
just keep it 100.
Yeah, but listen, also, like, why is it this narrative that like black people can't, like, for instance, like I mess with you and your platform, but at the end of the day, you asked me to come on the show, right? And the thing is, the things that I'm pretty sure, like I've been other black people are vocal about what Umar does, right? I have biracial children. I don't have any children with white women, but my children are biracial, Hispanic, and my son is Persian. His mother's Middle Eastern, right? So, and also I'm a black man. I feel like black men are at the top of the food chain. You deal with who deal with you. I've never subscribed to that thing about, oh, you should just date within your race. We live in America, bro. Who's fully black? As dark as I am, I'm supposed to look like Jaimon Hansu, bro. I'm supposed to be darker than this. I'm not supposed to have this straight beard and this straight hair. I got some white up in me. Umar has white in him. So who's fully black anyway? You know what I mean? So to keep telling black men what we should and shouldn't do, listen, all of my children identify as black. So if black men have the power to change, shouldn't you, here's my theory, right? Me as a black man, when I have kids with women outside of my race, my kids are now black kids, right? So black people actually have the power to transform a race to a whole nother race. Because my children know Barack Obama, we don't say he's the first mixed president.
Well,
we call him the first black
but here's the
president.
thing. Let me just interrupt you for a second.
Right.
That's what you're talking about is it's not an Earth thing, it's kind of an America thing.
It's an America thing, but that's what he's
talking about. You go to other
about,
countries, you go to, for example, like Brazil,
right?
They won't consider your kids black at all.
Right.
They consider them Moreno or something.
Yeah.
Like there's specific terms that other countries use for people who are mixed.
For sure. And
right.
And when
the whole if you're like a little bit black, then America you're just black. Like you know what I mean? That's kind of almost like it's just an American thing.
It's a very American thing. And Umar, I don't like that rhetoric because it's like, bro, who are you talking to? Like, if my kid come up to you as a mixed kid, so what if there's a woman who's from Puerto Rico, right? And she's white presenting, and I date her, but she identifies as black. Who are you to tell people who's black and who's not? Who are you to tell people that? That's my thing. Yeah. Like, who are you to say, oh, if a black man dates outside of his race, he's weak? I say a powerful man is a man who dates who wants to date him. First of all, most black men date outside of their race based off where they live, right? Mm. When I lived in Brooklyn, New York, everybody in my neighborhood, Bed-Stuy, East New York, all black. But when I moved to Florida, all the women are Hispanic. And the Hispanic women want me. So I'm not supposed to deal with nobody. They're beautiful. I'm not supposed to deal with nobody because they're not black? That makes no sense to me at all. I remember when he talked about LeBron James' son taking a white girl to the prom. Mm-hmm. Think about it like this. LeBron James' son is probably one of the only black kids that can afford to go to that school that he went to. I'm pretty sure in that school, 90% of the kids are white.
You're talking about Sierra Canyon. I've been there before. Like, I remember my kids went to summer camp there. It's a little more mixed than you think,
right?
But it's not predominantly black. Definitely,
it's not predominantly black. But what I'm saying is, if a girl is cute, so somehow because you date a girl who you're attracted to, somehow that means you hate your mother? How about you just a man with a dick and get horny over good-looking women? Right? I think it's kind of closed-minded to not date outside of your race. I like everything, bro. Yeah. I like all races of women. Dead ass. I don't have no problem with no race. Now, I've never dated a white Caucasian woman. I've slept with Caucasian women, but I've never had a Caucasian girlfriend, right? But I have had sex with women outside of my race. I mean, white women. But I love ethnic-looking women regardless of whatever race they claim to be. And I think most black men share that sentiment. So
I think most men share that sentiment.
Most men, period. So when another black man tries to say you're weak or you hate your mother because you did outside of your race, bro, I highly doubt, and I'm saying this to Umar, I highly doubt that if one of these European women from like Sweden or wherever else come with them voluptuous bodies like a Megan Fox or somebody threw the pussy at him, he gonna say no?
Yeah, I think he's saying that he will say no.
Yeah,
He's saying that people are even sending like decoys at him to try to trick him into doing it.
If Megan Fox or Jessica Alba threw the pussy at Umar, he gonna say no?
Yes, Sydney Sweeney.
Come on, bro.
With those titties.
I don't have that type of strength. I'm not that, my flesh ain't that strong, bro.
Right.
Come on, man. Not doing it, bro.
No, look, I remember he went into this whole thing about how Eminem can't be a top rapper because rap is a black art form and you can't have an outsider excel in a platform that's by a certain type of people. And that's just ridiculous because you literally see this all over the place. Basketball was not invented by black people. Who dominates the sport? At the end of the day, you could, and the thing is, he's not completely educated in a lot of these topics where he's like, oh, you can't be something in Japan. Like, for example, like if you look at like sumo wrestlers,
right?
There have been like grand champions that were like Samoan.
Right. Black.
They probably don't even speak Japanese.
There's actually black sumo wrestlers who are top.
Right.
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 But with Eminem in particular, I've always said Eminem is overrated.
Okay.
I think he's overrated. But Eminem is one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Period.
Listen,
he is.
Me and Jamar have had this kind of conversation to the point where Eminem's had to even literally explain himself in some of his songs and in interviews, based on conversations that me and Jamar have had. I understand, like, Jamar's point to Eminem is just because you could say the most number of words in a minute and your rhymes are the most complicated, that doesn't mean necessarily that that the hip hop audience are going to feel you more than like a Jay-Z who doesn't do that.
But it shows of the, I would say the commercial success. He has commercial success, but you don't hear his stuff in the clubs. You don't hear it really.
Well, he doesn't make club music,
right? But you don't hear it.
To be fair, he's not Future. He never has been.
But he's never has been.
He never has been. He's never been that type of artist.
So obviously your music is not and even radio. He don't really get radio play unless he makes.
Not really. Not really. I mean, he has a real rabid fan base that'll always bump whatever he puts out. And the thing is, like, I remember, who was it? My man Talib Kweli kind of broke it down. He says that the thing with Eminem is that no matter what type of song he jumps on, it's always like that same flow. It's always like the multi-syllable, like, and it's like you don't always understand the assignment. It's like this is like
to do that, though.
a love. If it's like a kind of like a love song or whatever, it kind of like a lot of this stuff just doesn't work because he's always kind of doing the same type of thing. And I get that. But when you talk about people that do what he does, like a JID or a Twista, or I mean, look, even when you look at like LL Cool J's new album and the song with him and Eminem, I was literally embarrassed for LL Cool J. Did you hear that song?
I didn't even hear it.
Yo, LL Cool J, you could just tell, it was two people that at one point were both extreme greats at what they did, but LL hasn't been doing it for a long time. Right? Whereas Eminem never stopped.
Right.
So you have two guys that at one point it would have been ridiculous, but like you have one, but like LL was just almost like trying to keep up, and it just sounded it was like almost like cringeworthy.
LL has been getting put in the spin cycle on his own song since 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody put him in the spin cycle on that. And he had remember, what the fuck, I thought I conquered the world, crushed Mo D, Hammer, and one of the worst verses of all time. He got put in a spin cycle on that song. Everybody killed him.
The worst
he gets killed on all his songs.
Time was like, he, she.
Oh my God.
That whole Flavor of the Year remix.
But that's the thing for L. So LL gets killed on all of his songs when he has features. He's never had the best verse on his own song. He gets killed on all songs.
He might be kind of right. He gets killed on kind of right. But you can't take away the legacy. I mean, there might not have been a Def Jam if it wasn't for LL Cool J. Let's just keep it totally 100. Like that was the first star on the label.
He's the first rap star, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that. Curtis Blow may have been the first rap star.
Yeah, but as a LL, I think rap became mainstream when the ladies started liking the guy. Curtis Blow wasn't a sex symbol. Nobody was trying to fuck Curtis Blow.
No, but Curtis Blow was doing Sprite commercials.
And
back in the
Curtis
day.
Blow is one of the gayest rap names of. Curtis Blow that's a crazy name, bro.
Well, you actually had a list of
I had a
top
list
5
about
rapper
that.
names that don't work in this era.
One of them,
Curtis Blow is one of them.
the number one spot, he actually jumped in my DMs and he loved it, bro.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Cheeks.
Mr. Cheeks. Yeah,
that is the wildest. Mr. Cheeks, bro.
You know, when I interviewed him, I asked him to explain the name, and he kind of just danced around the topic. He just didn't quite.
He actually did
tell
me about it. He
what the-
said,
what
bro,
the
this
name
is
meant.
100%. They posted it on the Lost Boys website. They posted it on their pages. They loved it. They loved
Yeah.
it. That's why even Fredro Starr, I called him one of the angriest, the most unnecessary angry men, top 5 angriest men. I called him that. And I actually just did his movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he responded. So it's like, when I've been going in on some of these guys, the only person who got mad at me for real, and like asked that I take the video down was Cormega. Yeah, he had a coat, and it was huge, and it was very long. So I said, and I didn't know it was his birthday that day, so I actually roasted him on this day, and it was actually his birthday. And I said the coat he had on looked like the executive. I don't know if you're a Seinfeld fan, but on Seinfeld, Morty Seinfeld created a raincoat. It was a beltless trench coat.
I'm looking at it now. It's like a tan coat.
It's nasty, bro. It was like a green. It was horrible. So he got pissed, and people in the comments like, "Yo, bro, take that video down because Cormega's not gonna like this." He actually DM'd me like, "Black man, I don't bother nobody. I'll appreciate you. Don't play with my name like that. I need you to take that video down." And I said, "No problem, my bro." I took the video because he didn't do anything to me, but I saw the coat. I thought it was nasty, and I made a video about it. I mean, think about how wild that is. It's your birthday morning. You wake up, and this is what you wake up to. People laughing at your coat. And then he told me it was expensive. He got it from Japan. I took it down though, and I apologized to him.
I mean, listen, not everyone takes all this in stride. I personally, like for example, like when I was talking to Aries, and there's this video that we put up of him like basically
Getting beat up?
Was that
The one where he got beat up?
No. It was he was roasting like this couple that was like front row at his show, and they weren't laughing, so he just kept talking shit about them to the point where they actually left.
Yeah.
And I remember like watching this, and I'd seen him do this to other people at his shows, right? And I remember watching this, and we talked about it later, on my show, and I'm like, yo, I would have loved that shit. I get like when I go front row at a comedy show, and this was with people I know sometimes.
Best seat in the house, bro.
I'll get roasted.
Best you get.
And I love it.
But
keep it going. Come on.
Avid
let's
comedy
go.
goers know that. Like, that's the thing, bro. Because,
Yeah.
we only can see the first couple of rows. Beyond that, it's dark, because we got the spotlight on us. So those first 3 or 4 rows, you're getting cooked, bro. And if you sit in the front, it is almost virtually impossible to sit in the front of a comedy show and the comedian not say nothing to you. We're going to use you as a reference point. We're going to roast you. Somebody's going to talk to you, man.
Listen, I was at the Hollywood Unlocked Awards, and Tiffany Haddish was the host. And she started roasting me at one point. She's like, "Oh shit, this DJ Vlad's in the house. The police is here, y'all. Police is here. Be careful. He gonna be taping." I'm like, "Oh, this is great. This is great." Tiffany Haddish just roasted me. What I'm saying? Like, I take it all in stride.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cormega isn't really the jokey guy.
You know what's crazy? I can't take a joke.
No?
Hell no. That's why.
So I can't roast you then.
You can try it. You ever
can try.
You ever see my Summer Jam screen thing that I do online, where I roast my. Bro, that's one of the biggest things I have. That's second to the top 5.
Oh, okay.
So I do the Summer Jam screen. So it's people talking shit to me in the comments, and then I clap back at them. So I was really started out that as angry, like, bro, who are you talking to? And I would make a video about it.
Oh yeah, I think I saw like there's a dude that you said you must have a sidekick based on how your picture looks like and stuff like
it's
that.
because he was
like,
talking shit to me in the comment section. So I've actually turned myself not being able to take a joke into something. You know, but yeah, I mean, if it's funny, I'll laugh. That's the thing. People just think they can say whatever they want. It's like, bro, if it was funny, I'm definitely gonna laugh. And I'm gonna repost it. I like when people, like somebody told me I look like Luke Cage if he converted to Islam. I thought that was hilarious, bro.
Okay.
Yes, people have gotten some good ones off on me, bro. And if they're good, I'm definitely gonna laugh. But some people but a lot of, it's becoming a thing now where people are like, hey, I wanna be roasted. Now it's becoming like this badge of honor. Kind of like how South Park is, you know, they dissing the shit out the people in there, but it's an honor to be a South Park character.
Right.
And for me, I mean, I'm not as big as Matt and Trey, but it's becoming a thing where, all right, I need to get on Will Mills Summer Jam screen. So let me say some shit to him in the comments. So.
Well, the other names he said don't work for this era, Juicy J.
Juicy J is crazy. Juicy as a man is insane, bro. I think he actually responded to it too. And he laughed.
Yeah, listen, DJ Paul is my man from 36 Mafia, but the name has always struck me as odd. Juicy.
Juicy is crazy.
Juicy J. I'm Juicy J.
Juicy J is crazy.
Like I guess I've never heard a man refer to himself as Juicy.
Never. I know a dude named Juice.
No, that's different.
But when you put the E at the end of it?
Yo, if you say, okay, if I tell you, yo, man, I just seen a girl, she looked juicy. Like you already know what that means, right? She probably got some big titties, a fat ass.
Yeah.
You know, some thighs on her. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, nothing masculine
She
about being called juicy.
But if you say, yo, man, I seen a dude the other day, he was juicy. You gonna look at me crazy.
That's a nasty name, son.
That's a nasty name, right? Fetty Wap is another name he said doesn't work for this era.
Fetty wet ass pussy?
No, but the WAP thing came out after.
Right, that's why it became whack. That's why he ended up on the list, because WAP took on a different meaning when Cardi and Megan dropped that song. You can't be WAP no more, bro. That's why the list is names that wouldn't work in this era. And that's definitely one of them, for sure.
Listen, I remember this. I've never mentioned it before. When I was first, becoming a mixtape DJ, when I, in New York, and I was kind of meeting other mixtape DJs and so forth, I got introduced to this one dude. I guess he was really big in the 90s, but I guess he went to prison or something. His name was Chill Will from the East Side, I
remember
think.
Chill Will.
You remember this name?
Yeah, I remember the name.
And I remember, listening to one of his mixtapes. And you know how every DJ kind of has a tagline?
Yeah.
Like DJ goes like, Cluminati!
Yeah.
And K-Slay was like, Street Sweepers, right? Yeah. Chill Will's tagline was, Get fruity!
Get fruity?
Get fruity.
What does that even mean? Get fruity.
Yeah, it was like, get fruity. And I remember I was trying to.
It's crazy.
I called my man Justo, right, who's doing the mixtape awards, and I remember I'm like, can you explain this to me? He goes, well, during that era, it was like people were doing like fruit flavors was kind of like a fly term. Oh, it's got fruit flavors, so it's like a get fruity was sort of a play off of that, and I'm just like, yeah, that just doesn't work anymore. I don't know if it ever worked.
Yeah, I don't
but
think
it just doesn't work anymore.
I don't think getting fruity was ever a thing outside of being homosexual, bro. Fruity has always been a term for homosexuality.
Yeah, I don't know, man. When I heard get fruity, I said,
you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a tagline for like Jolly Ranchers or something like that. That would be like
get fruity.
You know what I mean? Like, get fruity, kids. It could be something like that, but
I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, when you look at you have Heavy D's on your list as well.
Heavy D is crazy. Heavy D?
Why is that crazy?
Bro, you giving her the D, and your name is Heavy. You got a Heavy D. Heavy D?
I mean, does that kind of imply you have a big dick or so?
Yeah, but why would you tell the world that?
I mean, it's nothing to be
I'm
ashamed
not
of.
about the but listen, back then it was fine. His name was what? Dwight? What was Heavy D's real name? Rest in peace?
Dwight. Yeah, Dwight Myers.
Dwight Myers, and he was heavy, so his name was Heavy D, right?
Yeah.
So back then it was literal, but we live in a different era, bro. You would get killed online if you came out with a name like Heavy anything D. I think it's even wild that, like, say if you're from Detroit, you can't just go around saying nowadays with these kids online, I'm from the D. That sounds insane nowadays, bro. Once again, the list is names you can't have in this era.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the worst rap names of all time. 69 Boys is on this list.
69 Boys is crazy.
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky, crazy.
But he's a comedian though. He does comedy rap.
But the thing about Lil Dicky, pause. If you gotta say pause after your name, that's crazy. He actually can rap his ass off. He's actually a good rapper.
No, I see him freestyling Tim Westwood, and I was
really
like,
good, bro.
Wow,
Yeah,
he's
really
actually
good.
great.
He's really good. I thought he was gonna be like the second coming to Eminem.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it that far, but he is pretty
sounded crazy.
Yeah.
The second.
A Boogie with the Hoodie.
That's a nasty name. It's not gay, but that's a nasty name. A Boogie with the Hoodie. His name was always whack. A Boogie is fine. Because he don't wear hoodies. If your name gonna be A Boogie with the Hoodie, you should wear a hoodie all the time.
You shower in the hoodie.
You gotta
sleep
you
in the
can
hoodie.
never take it off, bro. We're not even supposed to know what your face look like.
Chameleonaire.
That's a crazy name. Chameleonaire is whack as hell, bro. That's a whack ass name, bro. And it's long. Too many syllables.
Well, and I will tell you, and I've known about this for a while. Not a very popular rapper. I believe he was in Old Dirty Bastard's crew. Old Dirty Bastard's a crazy name also, by the way. Old Dirty Bastard. But it was so... Once you got to see him, you're like, okay, this kind of makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
It aligned with his name aligned with him.
Right. But what I've always considered the worst name ever, I believe this was a dude in his crew. Shorty Shitstain.
Shorty Shitstain was in Brooklyn Zoo.
Brooklyn Zoo, am I right?
That's a nasty name, son. You know what's funny about that term? Shorty Shitstain is something that, like, my mother would call me. Like, my uncles used to say that to the little kids in the neighborhood. So I don't know, like, he didn't make that. That was actually like an insult from like your uncle or something like that. Because I've heard Shorty Shitstain before. What up, Shorty Shitstain? The older dudes would say that to us back in the early 90s. So to name yourself that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've never heard that term before. And when I first heard it, it sort of made my skin crawl a little bit. And the fact that you actually call yourself that,
that's a pretty bad
you called yourself a shit stain.
That's a pretty bad
A shit stain.
What was another dude now? I was just thinking about him the other day. His name was really, really long. Oh my God, man. OJ the Juice Man is a terrible name too.
OJ the Juice Man is a weird one.
That's a terrible name.
That's a weird one. Considering there's OJ Simpson, and it sort of kind of overlaps with that in a weird.
But OJ the Juice Man is so Southern, he can't even say his own name. He calls himself OJ the Jew Man because he doesn't articulate the juice properly. OJ the Jew Man.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of weird names.
Well,
but
it'd be funny if he was actually
I'm
Jewish.
glad,
That'd be funny.
You know, at least I feel like we've gotten past the era where every rapper has the word Lil.
Yeah, that was a nasty era. And there's only been one good Lil. There's two. Lil Fame from MOP, of course, salute.
Okay.
And Lil Wayne, of course. I think the women Lils were better than the men Lils.
Well, I agree.
The Lil Mama, Lil Kim. Who else you had? Lil Mo.
Yep.
Yeah, the women would definitely have more. The little thing was to name yourself Lil something. To name yourself after. I mean, but we're in that era too, Vlad, where, you know, originality was a thing back in the days. You know, you got Wu-Tang 9 members who had 9 different rap styles, but all from the same place. If you put 9 dudes together right now and form a rap group, they're all gonna have the same flow, They're gonna look exactly the same. Nobody's gonna be different, right? Being original was a thing back in the days, and you had to, actually, it was a requirement to be original.
Yeah.
Biting, like that wasn't a thing. Like you would, if you bit off somebody's style, or you would get called out about it immediately.
No, look, man, I remember my first interview ever, like my first rapper interview ever in life was Special Ed.
Oh, wow.
At his house in Brooklyn. This
He
was
was
before.
he was the first rap capper, though.
The what?
He was the first rap liar, like capper.
Oh, you mean like I Got It Made? Like all the stuff he has?
But that was the thing, though. We knew he was broke. If you look at the video, Jesus Christ, he was like in a dock.
No,
He was at, like,
because
Canarsie Pier or something.
the Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight, rapped about a whole bunch of stuff they didn't know. Oh, yeah. And after school, I take a dip in the pool, which is really off the wall. I got a color TV where I could see.
Yo,
Knicks play
saying you have a
basketball.
color TV and
they're
not-
talking
and
about a
not
bunch of
having a
shit
color
that they don't
TV.
have at the time. These are all broke kids.
No, but Special Ed, but we saw it in real time. Special Ed went crazy. Said he had, 73 scooters?
Yeah.
Why do you have 73 mopeds, bro?
He's got a treaty with Tahiti because he owns a percent.
Yeah,
He's got a
own
dog
Tahiti.
with a solid gold bone.
Yeah, he owned Solid Gold Bone.
Yeah,
But the
he had a lot of
video
cool
was
shit
crazy.
that he
The
didn't
video
actually
was
have,
shot
but that's
in
cool,
one-
man. But back then, there was no
One
one
of the
had
dopest
shit.
songs of all
Everyone
time,
was
though.
broke in hip hop.
One of the rappers wasn't making no money back then.
Yeah, no one was making money.
They
back
wasn't
then.
making no money back then.
I mean, listen, people would be posing with like Volvos on their album cover, like, "Yo, I got a Volvo."
Didn't Special Ed get into a big riff recently over something stupid he said?
I don't think so.
He said something out of pocket. Because I think I made a video.
Well,
about it.
he said, okay, he said that NWA brought destruction to hip hop. I think
that's
that
what
was
it
that. That was I don't know, maybe about a year or
That
two
was a little
ago.
crazy.
And I mean, there really is an argument for that. There
I would say
really
on
is
the
an
West
argument
Coast.
for that because
On
there
the
was a
West
few
Coast, maybe.
gangster rappers here and there, like Ice-T and Schoolie D and stuff like that. But NWA churned it into a whole phenomenon.
Yeah, but remember, this was when there was a distinctive difference between East Coast and West Coast. Like that didn't affect the East Coast at all. They
affected the
probably
West-
had an
affected the
impact
West
over there in
Coast
the
a lot.
West. That
A
didn't
lot.
that didn't affect
Everyone
the
wanted
East
to be
Coast
a
at all.
gangster, especially in LA after
Yeah,
NWA
like
came
nobody
out.
over here was following with the West Coast. We wasn't getting Jerry curls
in
we wasn't
LA,
doing- we
let me
did
tell you,
nothing
'cause
they
I've
did.
interviewed dudes from that era, and they, like even like Alonzo from the World Class Wrecking Crew, like
Yeah.
he was doing a lot of parties during that time,
Right.
and he said that before NWA, and you think about it, NWA came through the World Class Wrecking Crew,
Right.
Like Yella and
Dre.
Dre were members of his group,
Right.
But they weren't doing gangster music; they were doing kind
Oh
of
no,
like
I saw Dre
electro
looked
pop, and
crazy
stuff
back
like that.
then. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And I mean, he even said, listen, like, I was promoting parties during that time. Before NWA, you'd have a big event. It'd be, maybe 5% gangsters, every so often something, whatever. But then, after NWA came out, it'd be like 70% gangsters. Like,
Right.
everyone was fucking wilding out at that point. It's like you couldn't even have shows anymore. There'd be too many fights. There'd be too many shootings.
Right.
You can't really say, like, you and I are older, man. Like, that, especially when you're a teenager and you hear this type of stuff, it amps you up.
Mm-hmm.
It amps you up. You may not want to go get a gun and shoot somebody, but it kind of gets you in a mood. It gets you in a zone. And, and if someone, and you get into it with someone during that time, as you listen to this type of music, you're not going to say it has zero effect.
Right.
It amps you up.
Right. Look at
It
drill
amps you
culture,
up.
though.
And it also romanticizes a lot of stuff that,
Yeah.
as we're older, you don't really want to romanticize.
Right. But they
So,
were the first
I
ones to
understood his
really
point.
put power to pen
Yeah.
as far as fighting back. Or they was like the Malcolm X's of rap, and then you had Public Enemy, but they was more political with it. NWA was straight up, fuck the police. They was straight
Right.
up talking about killing cops. But for me, even with NWA, Public Enemy, these were the most dangerous rappers because they didn't influence people to go do nothing to themselves. They actually was causing people to look at the society and look at politics and That's the real dangerous rap.
No, and I get it. And
Right.
to say, I feel that they had actually a lot of positive things that came out of there too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was fans of that music, sincerely, I was a fan of a lot of this stuff. Me and Chuck D still talk to this day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never gotten to interview Ice Cube, but I would love to interview Ice Cube. I've interviewed Yella multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a huge fan, and look, my life, you could almost say that era of music influenced what my career became later on in life.
Right.
Because I was so in love with it. But you could also say that, putting out this type of imagery, like for example, like drill rap, right? I remember me and Boosie, you could look up this clip, and I'll play a little clip of it right now for the audience. With all the craziness, because look, back in our day, you weren't talking about smoking your dead mother, smoking your dead friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. Like fuck your dead relatives, fuck your, all this type of stuff. That just didn't happen. But then Chief Keef, with his own era, he changed all that. And then it became popular. Then you see just catastrophes happen in Jacksonville, where you have Julio Fulio and that whole situation, where he's doing videos in graveyards holding up pictures of dead people, of friends of who he's beefing with. And some of these guys are kids.
Right.
They were killed at like 16, 15 years old.
Right.
And they're literally desecrating, they're doing it in front of their tombstones and stuff like that. I remember me and Boosie were talking. I said, let me tell you something. You know what's going to happen next? Because people are always trying to up the bar, right? They're trying to out-ignorant each other. Mm-hmm. I said, somebody's going to dig up one of their enemies and do a video with them.
Yeah.
You heard of YBC Duel?
Yeah.
Who got killed? There's a video of him allegedly digging up one of his ops' graves. Now, that whole thing was fake. You find out afterwards that he was just not really doing that. But I bet you, because everyone always has to outdo themselves, right? Tupac talked about I fucked your bitch, and then later on, people talk about I'm smoking your dead enemy, your dead fucking brother and stuff like that. What I think in the future is going to happen is some rapper is actually going to dig up one of his enemies. He's actually going to go to a graveyard and take a video with the corpse. That's what I think will happen.
Somebody finna do it.
Somebody going to do it. Somebody, you're going to see the actual decomposing corpse.
Man, bro,
Am I right, though? I bet you it's going to happen. And just this week, there's a story that's been circulating that some dude that died some years back,
98.
somebody blew up his grave site. They threw some dynamite or something, literally blew up the grave site. It's almost what we were talking about.
So that, bro.
It's almost what we were talking about. Who does this? Who goes to a damn graveyard and plants bombs on a damn tombstone and blows up? And they showed pictures of it. Literally, it's like a big hole.
Yeah.
It's a dead body. What point are you making here? You're not hurting anybody.
Yeah. And that dude died in 1998.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
Which makes it even crazier.
How much hate is that? It's a wild world.
Seriously, man. Yeah. But whoever did that needs therapy.
To go back to your point, drill, I'm gonna say this, bro, is the most influential genre of rap in history. It's the only form of rap that's being done all over the world.
Right.
Like every corner of the world, they have drill.
Oh, no, listen, when I did a whole thing, I went through the UK and interviewed a bunch of rappers, and some of them were drill rappers.
Yeah.
They had something called Brixton Drill. Yeah. That was a thing out there. I think it still is.
You can go to England, you can go to Germany, Africa, Australia. There is drill, they have a drill rap culture where they diss the dead and beef with each other on some gang shit.
Right.
That level of influence is crazy. Yeah. It is the most influential genre of rap in history.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because I said, I don't care how much I hate you. I don't care how badly we go at it. I'm going to leave dead people out of it. I'm going to keep your kids out of it. I'm going to keep your parents out of it. I'm going to keep your siblings out of it.
Yeah.
because they have nothing to do with what me and you got going on.
Yep.
And the thing of it is that a lot of people who I have beef with, we ultimately were able to come together and laugh it off and,
Right.
you know, and do business together.
Yeah.
Once you start going over these lines, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, you're burning your own bridges, not realizing how important those bridges are in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of us are doing this alone.
Right.
We're all, you know, I mean, you're not sitting here in front of a camera, you know, by yourself right now. You and I are working together, you know. You're utilizing my platform, my followers. I'm utilizing, you know, your followers and your talent. And together, we're creating a product.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, if I talked about your dead mother and I had a picture of her with a bunch of Photoshop and a bunch of crazy shit and whatever else,
Nuts,
you know, we couldn't do any more interviews after that.
Right.
That's it.
It's
the end of that, you know? But listen, man, sometimes you have to grow up to kind of realize this. And a lot of these guys, man, I've sat them down on and off camera, have tried to really reason with them, have tried, you know, I'm not going to say who it is because we're going to cut this part out, but you had some friction with someone I know. I tried to fix it during the course of this interview. Ultimately, it didn't work, but at least I tried.
Mm-hmm. Right.
At least I tried. I try to do that more times than people realize. But, you know, at the end of the day, most things can be fixed until you start crossing lines. Mm-hmm. You know? That's where we're going to end it. Will Milz, man, our first interview.
Yeah, man. Hopefully,
you
come
know,
back.
Hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, I know I'm leaving it. I came in good with I know I'm leaving this show, and I'm gonna walk out them doors, and I'm gonna say, what the fuck did I say? We gonna have some problems, bro. But I'm with the smoke, man.
You're with the smoke.
And I'm gonna stand on everything I say, bro.
Me too. Me
I
too.
stand on it
That's
all,
what
man.
it is, man. Until next time.
Thanks for having me, man.